The boys are back in town plays here at Red Wilson Field, and that is accurate as the YD Red Sox are back here in South Yarmouth as they get to take on the Falmouth Commodores here in an interdivision Cape Cod Baseball League matchup. Hello everybody and welcome in. Alongside TJ Matthewson, my name is Andre Sims, and TJ, we are back in town as we were in Boston just a day ago. The Cape League had their annual Fenway Day, the showcase in front of scouts, parents, fans alike, and there really is just, you can't have any complaints about being at Fenway. For all these college players, sometimes their first opportunities to be at Fenway. How do you sum up what Fenway Day is?
Well, it's a surreal experience for a lot of these players, getting to watch all the big leaguers play on Fenway, all the history there, being the oldest ballpark in Major League Baseball. I talked to Drew Swift, who didn't get to compete in that workout yesterday due to a bit of a a bit of an injury issue for him, and he said he was bummed that he got to miss out on it because for most of the part, you're getting to play on and work out on the big league field that all the major leaguers get to play on, and it's really just a surreal experience, especially the opportunity to take batting practice on the field, which we saw two Red Sox hit it out of the park. Andrew Eister hit one over the green monster, and then Jack Wold, actually a little more of an impressive shot, he hit one out into the bullpen in right field during batting practice. A real fun time there.
Yeah, it was an absolute blast for all of us involved as well. We got a chance to walk around the park. You got a chance to be on the field. One of my personal favorite moments was the interview that our third partner, Brian McLaughlin, did with Wyatt Young as a lifelong Red Sox fan, being able to be at Fenway Park for the first time, hailing from Hawaii. Just an all-around great experience. But before Fenway, these Red Sox did play a game. They played Harwich, beat them by a final score of 2-1 in an absolute pitcher's duel. What were your takeaways from that game?
So what I took away from both Monday at Bourne and Tuesday at Bourne, Wednesday at Harwich. I'm getting my days mixed up. Monday at Bourne, rain out Tuesday, and then Wednesday at Harwich.
Happens
is that this?
With all the rain
it does happen. I get all the days mixed up. But the Red Sox pitching has gotten exponentially, has been awesome these last two games. A team after this weekend's game against Falmouth, their pitching staff was ranked 9th in the league, and that just behind the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, who really have been struggling this year, both at the plate and in the field on the mound. So between the Red Sox gave up a combined 1 total run between the Bourne games and the Harwich game. That 1 run coming on an opposite field solo home run off the bat of Christian Fedko. Otherwise, the Red Sox were really spectacular against Harwich as they took down the Mariners 3-1.
It was a 2-1 victory, a bit uncharacteristic of the normal 3-1 victory, a little bit more uncharacteristic than the usual slugfest that we see this YD offense become known for, as they still pace the league in runs at 70, but the win took them up to second, tied on points with Chatham at the top of the Eastern Division. However, Chatham has simply played 1 more game than this YD Red Sox team has. They're going for another win, their second win against these Falmouth Commodores. These two teams split a doubleheader. We will be right back with lineups. First pitch on the other side of this break. You're listening to Red Sox Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Cape Cod Baseball League contest, where the stars of tomorrow will shine tonight. Tonight is Red Shirt Friday here at Red Wilson. Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape Cod League baseball team will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. This special weekly celebration of Red Shirt Friday is sponsored by 47 Brand, H.P. Hood, Cape Cod Regional Transit Authority, Advanced Embroidery, and the Cape League. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday. Here are the starting lineups for tonight's game. For the visiting Falmouth Commodores, Falmouth is managed and led by Mr. Jeff Trundy. Yarmouth and Dennis is managed and led by Mr. Scott Pickler. Here is the Falmouth lineup for tonight. Leading off and playing second base from the University of Louisiana Lafayette, number 5, Hayden Cantrell. Batting second, the right fielder from Western Michigan University, number 23, Blake Dunn. Batting third and playing shortstop from Rice University, number 2, Trey Cruz. Batting cleanup and playing center field from Stanford University, number 17, Tim Kawa. Batting fifth, the left fielder from Texas A&M, number 9, Zach Beloch. Batting sixth, playing third base from Cal State Sacramento, number 31, Stephen Moretto. Batting seventh, the first baseman from Georgia Tech, number 44, Darren Radcliffe.
No, you hosted Barassa after this is it.
Batting eighth, the catcher from the University of Oregon State.
That all worked out. It always does.
Number 24, Troy Crouch. Batting ninth, the designated hitter from UCLA, number 27, Kevin Kendall. Tonight's starting pitcher for Falmouth, from the University of Alabama, number 20, Tyler Rass. And now the starting lineup for the YD Red Sox. You will notice that the Red Sox will be accompanied to their position by baseball clinic participants. Leading off and playing second base from Pepperdine University, number 7, Wyatt Young. Batting second, designated hitter from the University of South Carolina, number 14, Noah Campbell. Batting third and catching from the University of Arizona, number 16, Austin Wells. Batting cleanup, the right fielder from the University of Georgia, number 4, Riley King. Batting fifth, the left fielder from the University of South Carolina, number 11, Andrew Eister. Batting sixth, the first baseman from the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, number 19, Jack Thomas Wold. Batting seventh, the third baseman from the University of Dayton, number 25, Riley Terada. Batting eighth, the shortstop from Mercer University, number 17, R.J. Yeager. Batting ninth, the center fielder from Clemson University, number 12, Sam Hall. Tonight's starting pitcher for the Red Sox, from Arizona State University, number 10, Eric Coleman. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, would you please rise for the singing of our national anthem. Tonight's national anthem is being performed by Miss Nora Malloy.
Oh, say, can you see broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you very much, Laura Malloy.
The national anthem has been sung, lineups have been announced, but we will give them one more time to you at home listening. Leading off for the Falmouth Commodores in this one, Hayden Cantrell. Saw him hit a home run in the last time these two teams faced at a Louisiana Lafayette. Blake Dunn out of Western Michigan bats second. He'll be in right field. Trey Cruz, the shortstop today, bats third. Tim Tawa, the Stanford product, will be in center field and hit cleanup. Zach DeLoach will be in left field today out of Texas A&M. Stephen Moretto from Sac State playing third tonight. He bats sixth. Baron Radcliffe in the 7-hole out of Georgia Tech playing first. Troy Claunch, the backstop from Oregon State, will hit eighth. And rounding out the order is going to be Kevin Kendall out of Alabama. He's the DH tonight, tasked with taking on the lefty from Arizona State University, Eric Tolman, the two-way player. We've seen him make some appearances out of the bullpen, but TJ, his first start tonight, what are you looking for from him?
So, yeah, this is his first start up here on the Cape. He was sometimes a weekday starter at school at Arizona State as a true freshman this season. A little surprised he wasn't in the lineup too today, but we're working on some stuff with his swing, so he's just out there to focus on pitching today. He's only his longest outing of the season, just 2 innings so far, so we're going to be interested to see how long Pick lets him go out there. Always for Eric, it's keep the ball in the strike zone. Struggled a little bit with walks this past spring at ASU. Has really been really good in his 2 outings, though, so far. A 2.45 ERA in 3 2/3 innings.
Behind Tolman today, this is how the Red Sox will line up defensively. Left to right in the outfield, Andrew Eister, Sam Hall, and Riley King. On the left side of the infield, Riley Terada and R.J. Yeager find themselves at third and short, respectively. Wyatt Young is R.J. Yeager's double play partner tonight, and Jack Wold plays first base. Austin Wells is putting down the sign in an all Pac-12 Arizona State battery. Home plate umpire Matthew Gaitan has given the okay. Tolman toes the rubber on the left side, third base side of the rubber. The first pitch is on its way, and Cantrell lines it back up the middle, and that's a base hit to start the game. First pitch at 5:04.
Well, Hayden Cantrell has just been on a tear this past week or so for the Falmouth Commodores. He won Player of the Week in the rain-shortened week last week, went 6 for 9 with a pair of home runs, 2 doubles. You mentioned he had a home run. And last time these two met up in the doubleheader on Sunday, and he just keeps on going with a leadoff single here.
So one pitch, and Eric Tolman finds himself working out of the stretch. Checks Cantrell on first. Dunn squares to bunt, and it's a good one. Tolman fields his position, the scoop by Wold. And they got him on the back end, so a sacrifice bunt for Dunn, and Cantrell's up 90 feet to second.
And that's a nice play by Tolman off the mound. Early, the Commodores going to make Tolman field his position, show that he can handle himself out there in the field, and he does, bouncing off to his right, able to spin and make an under control throw to Jack Thomas Wold at first base, who's able to scoop it out of the dirt. He's shown a good glove over there, picking it at first.
So Trey Cruz out of Rice steps in now, 323 on the year. Cantrell takes his lead off second base. First pitch is a breaking ball that breaks inside for a ball, 1-0. These two teams split the doubleheader at Gov Fuller Field. It was an absolute slugfest over the course of the two games. Host of home runs, extra base hits, and a back-and-forth game in Game 1. YD took Game 2 of that doubleheader. 1-1 the count now to Trey Cruz. He was one of the people that hit a home run in that doubleheader. As he skies one deep into left field, Andrew Eister on his horse, back into the corner, and he'll make the grab near the line. Impressive play there from Andrew Eister, tracking back on the fly ball deep into the corner. And Tolman records the second out of the inning.
Eister hasn't been too flashy out there in left field, but he's got the job done. He shows really good range. Going back to us right there near the line, able to make the catch.
Tim Tawa now steps in, cleanup hitter. Hitting just 111 thus far in this Cape League season. Falmouth currently sits 4th in the Western Division, comfortably in front of Hyannis, who, as TJ you mentioned, has been struggling so far this season. As Tawa grounds one back up the middle, Yeager gets under his glove. Cantrell's coming around. Without a throw, he will score, and Falmouth takes the lead 1-0.
It's a nice piece of hitting for Tim Tawa, who's only 1 for 9 coming into today, but up there aggressively swinging at the first pitch from Tolman, is able to get it under the glove of R.J. Yeager at shortstop. And into center field for a base hit, and with the slow dribbler, plenty of time for Hayden Cantrell to come around and score.
Sam Hall wisely opting to not make the throw. Hold Tim Tawa to a single. It's the first pitch to Zach DeLoach. The left fielder is in there for a called strike, 0-1. So very quickly, Falmouth on top, 1-0. They've scratched across a run here on a single, a sacrifice, and then an RBI single. And that's something we've seen, TJ, as home plate umpire Matthew Gaitan says yes he did, and it's 0-2, is that small ball has been something that has been used very prevalently across all Cape League teams this season.
Yeah, and we see it pay off right there. And also, these Falmouth hitters have been really aggressive so far here today. At the beginning of this at-bat to Zach DeLoach, Tolman was only at 6 pitches through 5 batters.
Runner goes, the throws from well is late. I think it might have actually hit the helmet of Tim Tawa, sliding into second base as it caroms into left center field. No advance, though, and it's a stolen base for Tawa. The stolen base was something that this Falmouth team opted to use a bunch in the doubleheader when these two teams met. Running day and night on the catcher Jackson Greer, who had a very short stay with the team. 1-2 the count now. Tawa on second base. Swing and a miss on the fastball outside as Tolman gets out of the inning with just the 1 run allowed. Falmouth take the lead courtesy of a Hayden Cantrell single, and then he came all the way around to score. Our score is now 1-0. Red Sox coming up to take their first at-bat here on Red Shirt Friday. You're listening to Red Sox Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Leading off for YD.
Back here for the bottom of the first as we bring you the YD lineup as Wyatt Young leading off steps in to take his first at-bats. Following him, Noah Campbell and Austin Wells. Riley King, Andrew Eister, Jack Wold make up 4, 5, and 6. And Riley Terada, RJ Yeager, and Sam Hall make up the bottom third of the order as they step in to take their swings against Tyler Ross out of the University of Alabama. First pitch to Wyatt Young is swung on and fouled back into the screen. It's 0-1. Tyler Ross, just a couple appearances here in this Cape League season, 1-0, but that win came in relief against Chatham. Also had an appearance against Hyannis. This is his first start of the season as well. The 0-1 pitch. It runs inside and catches Wyatt Young on the ankle. So it'll take a second to take some inventory before heading on down to first base. And just like Falmouth in the top half, the Red Sox have their leadoff runner on.
Ooh, that one looked like it hurt a little bit off the ankle of Wyatt Young. Ross just yanked a fastball right in there, and White can't do much besides just let it absorb his ankle. And he'll take the free base, and a good start here for the Red Sox in the first.
Yeah. One of the narratives of the first time these two teams met in game one of the doubleheader was the back and forth nature of it. Already looking to be set up for a similar storyline. So now Noah Campbell steps in. 467 thus far. As he looks at a fastball outside, 1-0. As I mentioned right before going to break, it is Red Shirt Friday today. The first Red Shirt Friday that we've had this season. As the weather has gotten in the way of the prior ones. Here we are in week 3 as Campbell skies one deep to straightaway center field, looking up. And it is gone! It just sneaks over the center field fence, and Noah Campbell leaves the yard, and it's 2-1 Red Sox. It was on a line. Tawa was tracing back, and it nicked off the top of the fence and over for a 2-run shot for Campbell.
Well, there's Noah just showing off the center field power. Also, just taking advantage of the short center field here at Red Wilson, just 352 to straight away. And it looked like for a second it might have got caught up in the fence there, but it did end up getting called a home run just over that center field fence. A Red Wilson special puts the Red Sox up 2-1, pardon.
Yeah, if there's an opposite to getting AT&T'd in San Francisco with that cavernous yard, I think it's getting Red Wilson, in which something that could be or should be a routine fly ball sneaking out for a home run as Austin Wells steps in. Took a called strike and now takes a pitch high and wide, and it's 1-1. So very quickly 2-1 here, still nobody down on the Noah Campbell home run. As Austin Wells looks at another pitch inside, 2-1.
And I'm a little surprised that Jeff Trundy didn't come out and talk to the home plate umpire, Sam Finn, about that one, because there was a little bit of confusion out there in center field whether or not the ball actually went over. It was a tricky look from here.
2-1 pitch is in there for a called strike, 2-2. And you're right, TJ. It did. You heard it audibly hit the fence, and it looked like it really just, there's a gate in straightaway center field, and it looked like it just nicked off the top of that gate. As Austin Wells takes a breaking ball down and in. He's seen 5 pitches, hasn't swung at a single one yet. 3-2.
So it could have bounced off the fence and then through maybe the gap there or the gate to the fence. I think it's possible. It's kind of hard us sitting 400 feet away.
Wells foul tips one into the glove of Claunch behind home plate, and that he is retired swinging for the first out of the inning. Well, regardless, Noah Campbell rounded the bases. Scoreboard operator put 2 on the scoreboard for YD, and it's 2-1 our score now as Riley King steps in on the second home run of the season for Noah Campbell. Riley King hitting safely in every single game he's played here for the Red Sox. 5 games, 5-game hitting streak as he looks at a breaking ball in there for a called strike, 0-1. King at 412. We've seen him play third base and right, where he is today. Sweeping breaking ball cut on and missed by King, and it's 0-2. Riley King, one of the many versatile pieces that Scott Pickler has sitting in his dugout. Rast shaking off a couple signs, now delivers the breaking ball, and it's grounded on the ground to third. Moretto across the diamond, and that's the second out of the inning.
Batting fifth, the left
So
fielder
Raz
for the University
responds
of
well to the
South
home run,
Carolina.
retires the next two he faces,
Number 11,
but no
Andrew
rest for the weary as
Eister.
Andrew Eister steps in. Eister, the teammate of Noah Campbell, sitting at 400 through 11 games played. Still just shy of the necessary at-bats per game to qualify for the batting title. As he steps in, the first pitch. Breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. He's got a good feel for that early, 0-1. Two-1 our score. Raz working out of the windup. Another breaking ball. That one drops low, and it's 1-1.
Now we'll see if Ross leaves one of those over the inside corner, maybe a little bit more up. See if Eister can turn on that.
Ross set at the eyes, delivers. That one's roped foul down the third base line, and it's 1-2. Andrew Eister, 12 hits in those 11 games. Scored 7 runs. Was tied for the team lead in home runs until Austin Wells hit an absolute rocket at Harwich just a few days ago, but he sits at 3 home runs, 9 RBI on the year. The 1-2. Another breaking ball, and Eister swings over the top of it for the final out of the inning.
Ladies and
The
gentlemen,
Red Sox get on the board, respond quickly as they so often have done this Cape League season. Our score now 2-1 as we head to the second inning on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Top of the second inning here at Red Wilson Field is an absolute beautiful day for baseball here on a Friday late afternoon. Slight breeze going, partly cloudy skies as Tolman gets set to deliver the first pitch of the inning. It's a breaking ball in there for a called strike to Stephen Moretto out of Sac State. Tolman, after surrendering the first inning run, is picked up by his offense as Moretto skies one into left center field. Sam Hall's underneath it, and that's the first out of the inning. Tolman surrendered the early run, is now spotted with the lead, courtesy of his offense as he looks to bounce back. Baron Radcliffe now steps in, the Georgia Tech yellow jacket. Stands in the box sitting at 231 as he looks at a called strike, 0-1. Tolman set at the belt, the 0-1. Sweeping breaking ball drops out of the zone, and it's 1-1.
Radcliffe today was putting on a show in batting practice. I counted a couple that he knocked up beyond the right field fence in front of that house.
Sounded like he broke his bat there as he chops one foul and out of play. It's 1-2.
Impressive showing. Quite a distance out there. We see a couple fans out there sitting out beyond that right field fence on, really, you mentioned it at the beginning of this inning. It's just an unbelievable day for some of the weather that we have had here. Friday night here on Cape Cod. Red Shirt Friday. And the Red Sox up.
Radcliffe standing at a very athletic 6'4", 230. Built like a linebacker playing baseball. The 1-2. That one's off the hands. Tirada will range over to his left, field the pop fly, and that's the second out of the inning.
The catcher from Oregon State University, number 24.
So now, Troy Clonch will step in.
Clonch.
Catcher out of Oregon State. Falmouth, of course, had another very notable Oregon State catcher, Adley Rutschman. As Clonch grounds one through the 5.5 hole, and that's a 2-out base knock. Can't even imagine what it's like following a guy like Adley Rutschman.
Big shoes to fill.
At school or on the Cape.
Yeah, all you hear about Adley Rutschman is just how great of a person he is. Despite what he did on the baseball field, which was unbelievable, but just the presence he had of that Oregon State baseball program, they just revolved around him. And now that he's gone to the Orioles with the #1 overall pick, that's just massive shoes that Clonch has to fill behind the plate at Oregon State.
Kevin Kendall now steps in, 9-hole hitter. Batting from the left side, looks at an off-speed pitch down for a ball, 1-0. Kendall, 333 on the year. Out of UCLA. Just 2 for 6. Lazy pickoff move over to first, just keeping Troy Clonch at the plate. Excuse me, at first base. Tolman out of the stretch. Breaking ball drops in there for a called strike, 1-1. Early on, both pitchers seem to have a very good feel for their breaking pitches, dropping them in for strikes at any count. Tolman, a couple checks, now delivers. Fouled in off the fists of Kendall, and it's 1-2.
Here we go, Eric!
Tolman rocking the high socks on the mound. Red Sox in the special Red Shirt Friday Cape Cod tops with their white pants and the camo hats. That one's on the ground. Wyatt Young fields on a hop. Over to first, and that'll end the inning. Eric Tolman works nicely, works around the 2-out base hit, and the score holds it 2-1. It'll be 6, 7, and 8 due up for the Red Sox in their half of the second. You're listening to Red Sox Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Batting sixth, the first
Bottom of the second
from the
inning.
University of Nevada, Las Vegas.
YD steps in to take their second hacks of the game. Jack Wold, Riley Tirada, and RJ Yeager due up as Wold stands in, batting from the left side. First pitch swinging and fouls it back to the fence. It's 0-1. Wold saw his average dip back under 300. He's now sitting at 294. Playing first base tonight. No batting gloves as always. Raz set at the eyes. 0-1 pitches in the dirt, and it's 1-1. Wold hit the first home run of the Cape League season on opening day, as that one's grounded towards Cantrell. He'll move back to field the clean hop over to Radcliffe, and that's the first out of the inning.
Come on, Riley.
The third baseman.
So that'll bring up Riley Tirada.
Number 25, Riley.
Playing third base today.
Come on, Riley.
As he steps in now to take his first at-bat of the game. First pitch to the Dayton Flyer is a breaking ball that drops it low and out of the zone, 1-0.
Come on, Riley.
Tirada starting to put together some better, higher quality at-bats, driving the ball a little bit more as we saw him struggle early on in his YD Red Sox career. As a fastball is pumped in there for a called strike on the inside corner, it's 1-1. Solid crowd here at Red Wilson Field as we start to see attendance numbers rise, especially as we head towards 4th of July in about a week. Tirada chops one up the middle, and that'll be a base hit. So for the second consecutive inning, the Red Sox have a base runner on. This time it's Tirada. And with one down, here's RJ Yeager.
How about that? That's the first hit for Riley Tirada that hasn't been a double this season. As he bounces that one up the middle. He's gotten off to a really slow start, and hopefully he'll start picking it up here soon.
RJ Yeager steps in, batting from the right side. First pitch is on its way, sliced the other way. Excellent play from Baron Radcliffe at first, leaping up to make the catch. And he'll tag first base to double up Riley Tirada. Not much Tirada could have done there as Radcliffe caught it just above the first base bag and was able to very quickly step on the cushion to complete the double play.
Our corporate sponsors are the
And that'll end the inning. So a very quick second inning for Tyler Raz as we head to the top of the third. You're listening to Red Sox Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Third inning of work for Eric Tolman on the mound for the YD Red Sox as they lead 2-1. Entering the top half of the third inning here from Red Wilson Field, TJ Mathewson and Andre Sims here with you from South Yarmouth. It'll be the top of the lineup. The red-hot Hayden Cantrell, Blake Dunn, and Trey Cruz set to come to the plate against the Arizona State Sun Devil Eric Tolman, who's allowed a run here through 2 frames so far. He winds first pitch to Cantrell. Fastball right down Main Street for a strike. It's 0-1. Cantrell on the season, .343 hitter, 3 doubles, 3 home runs. He was the Cape League Player of the Week last week for the Commodores. He went 6 for 9 with a pair of long balls. 0-1. Off speed misses off the plate for Tolman, and the count evens up at a ball and a strike. Cantrell hit a home run in the doubleheader versus YD on Sunday. 1-1. Misses again a little bit outside, and the count goes to 2-1. Cantrell hit a 3-run go-ahead home run when the Commodores were trailing 4-1 against the Red Sox, as the 2-1 misses outside and makes the count 3-1 here on Cantrell. 3-run home run in the bottom of the 5th inning of Game 2. It put the Commodores up 4-3 at that point. And then the Red Sox responded with 5 unanswered, won the game 8-4. 3-1, swing and a foul out of play behind home plate. And the count will go to 3 balls and 2 strikes. A second-year Commodore is here last season with Falmouth, but has had an unreal start to this season, both in the power and average department. 3-2, swing and a liner, foul up the first base side into some fans in the front row of the bleachers.
Dad almost made the play.
Down past the dugout. Yeah, it looked like Dad fell out of his seat trying to make the play, catch it on the one hop it looked like, but couldn't come up with it on the initial bounce. Cantrell hit 174 here in Falmouth last season. Tolman kicks, 3-2. Inside, and he'll catch Hayden right around the belt buckle, and he'll reach first to lead off the 3rd inning, the second time he's reached base to start an inning.
Right fielder from Western
So,
Michigan.
leadoff man is on
Number 23, Blake
for
Dunn.
the Falmouth Commodores here in the 3rd inning. And that'll bring up the right fielder, Blake Dunn, 0 for 1. He moved Cantrell over on a sacrifice bunt back in the 1st inning. Scored the only Falmouth run, Cantrell did, when he came around on an RBI single from Tim Tawa. Tolman back in the stretch, 0-1. Cantrell goes from first. The throw down is not in time from Austin Wells as Wyatt Young picks it out of the dirt on 2 hops. Strike 1 was called at home plate by Sam Finn, and the count will be 0-1, and Cantrell swipes his 4th bag of the year. He's now 4 for 5.
Yeah, he had Tolman timed up there, got an excellent jump. Not much Austin Wells could do, even with a good pitch to throw on.
0-1 here on Trey Cruz. Tolman peeks back at second, and Cantrell kicks the 0-1. Curveball hits the inside corner for a strike, and it's 0-2. Tolman, a 2A player, has gotten 2 appearances so far this season, a 2.45 ERA in 3 2/3 innings. He struck out 4 and walked 2. He's also seen some time at the plate, just 1 for 6 so far. He's got an RBI double to his name, so it seems like he will get at-bats here on the Cape as a 2A player for the Sun Devils of Arizona State. He kicks the 0-2. Swinging a little number up the middle, and it gets into center field for a base hit. Cantrell to hold up, make sure it didn't get caught, as Sam Hall will come in and get the baseball in to R.J. Yeager at short. So Dunn will reach over at first base. Back-to-back base runners for the Commodores as they're threatening again here in the 3rd inning. The top of the lineup has done a good job against Eric Tolman, grounding up the base paths. So 2 on, no out. That'll bring up the shortstop, Trey Cruz.
Yeah, I think the Red Sox there are lucky that Hayden Cantrell had to wait to see if that ball was going to get down. Otherwise, he probably would have scored, given how much that ball died in shallow center field. With his speed, would have came around easily.
So here's Cruz. He, as the first pitch is called, a strike on a check swing. And it's 0-1 on Cruz. Back in the 1st inning, flew out to left field. For Tawa drove in. Hayden Cantrell on at second base, as Tolman turns and throws to second. Or throws to first, pardon. Get the base runner back. And Blake Dunn. Pardon, Trey Cruz had a sacrifice bunt back in the 1st inning as they caught the runner in between at first base. Dunn is out. The throw home from second is not in time, as the throw from the second base bag airmails Austin Wells as Cantrell comes home and scores. It looked like a double steal there from the Commodores as Dunn went from first, trying to get caught in between. The throw from Jack Thomas Wold at first down to shortstop, and R.J. Yeager able to get him out on the base paths. But Cantrell will come home and score on that one, and it's all tied up at 2 here at Red Wilson. So the count still 0-1 on Trey Cruz as he awaits the 0-1. He misses outside, evens up at a ball and a strike now. So all the base runners in the span of one pickoff are cleared off the base paths. Tolman out of the wind, the 1-1. Fastball on the outside corner, and it goes to 1-2. So now 2 runs for Falmouth, working here in the top of the third on 4 base hits. Sam Hall shaded slightly over towards right center for Cruz. Awaiting the 1-2. He swings and fouls it out of play along the third base side. The count stays at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Temperature sits just under 80 degrees here in South Yarmouth. 78 degrees. Not a cloud in sight. 1-2. Swing and a pop-up on the infield. R.J. Yeager from a shortstop position, called off by Wyatt Young right on top of the second base bag, and he's there to make the catch for out number 1. So a sky-high pop-up on the infield retires Trey Cruz. And that will bring up Tim Tawa. He drove in the only run of the game. One of 2 runs. He drove it in his run back in the first inning. So he drove home Hayden Cantrell as he steps to the plate with 2 outs. Dolman winds, first pitch. Inside, and it gets a piece of Tawa right off the foot. So 2 hit-by pitches in the inning for Tolman. His control has been a little erratic here in the third. Puts a runner on at first with 2 outs, and Zach DeLoach, who struck out to end the first inning, will come to the plate.
Come on, Eric.
Yeah, and you mentioned it in the open, TJ. Control is the biggest key for Eric Tolman on the mound. Is struggling with it a little bit here in this inning, and it's costing him with the multiple runners getting on.
There's been a runner on base in every inning so far for Tolman. So he works back in the stretch. First pitch to DeLoach, misses outside, the Texas A&M Aggie. It's 1-0. DeLoach hitting at a 250 clip so far this summer with a double and 4 RBIs. But we mentioned the control issues with Tolman. Allowed batters to only hit 198 off him this season at ASU as he throws over to first. Back in plenty of time is Tawa. But he walked 35 batters in just under 50 innings, 47 2/3. Really the only knock on him this season, his spectacular freshman season with the Sun Devils. Went 3-1 with a 2.83 ERA. 1-0 misses outside. The count will go to 2 balls and no strikes on DeLoach. As Tolman turns and throws over to first base again. And back in time is Tawa. DeLoach, a rising junior, just finishing up his sophomore season at A&M. Batting from the left side against Tolman. Lefty kicks the 2-0. Outside again. It's 3 balls and no strikes on DeLoach. Hit 181 this spring with A&M. A pair of doubles and 8 RBIs for him. Spent last summer up in the Northwoods League. Hit over 300. 3-0. Misses up and inside for ball 4. So back-to-back free passes from Eric Tolman has put 2 on with 2 out here in the top of the third inning as Falmouth threatens for more and bring up the third baseman Steven Moretto. So the first walk of the game for Eric Tolman brings up Moretto. The third baseman is 0 for 1 today. It was 1 for 1, a run scored on Wednesday against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. The Commodores had Monday off and then were rained out Tuesday. So the whole Cape League was rained out. Some ill weather here on the Cape. First pitch inside, and it gets a piece of Moretto. So Tolman all over the place here in the third inning. His third hit by pitch of the frame, as the bases are all of a sudden loaded here for Baron Radcliffe. So now 4th free passes here in the third inning. As Baron Radcliffe out of Georgia Tech will step to the plate. As Pick is out of the dugout on the third base side. An arm warming down in the Red Sox bullpen. We'll see if Pick's going to let Tolman keep going. Looks like the reliever down there just got up and started throwing. It's Cullen Kafka down that left field line in the Red Sox bullpen. This is just all of a sudden, Tolman has allowed 3 free passes here with 2 outs. A pair of hit by pitches and then a 4-pitch walk.
Yeah, and then the inning started with the hit by pitch of Hayden Cantrell as well. So you got to wonder if it's something potentially mechanically going on there that's causing his pitches to be so erratic on the mound. Had a very smooth second inning in which he was attacking hitters, throwing strikes. Even in the first inning, per se, was throwing strikes. His strikes were just getting hit. But at the end of the day, Pick's going to let him stay in. Obviously heard what he wanted to hear.
So Tolman has allowed 3 runners to reach here with 2 outs. It's Tim Tawa over at third, Zach DeLoca at second, Steven Moretto at first. Barron Radcliffe will step to the plate out of Georgia Tech. He popped out to third base back in the first inning. Falmouth threatening to take the lead here in the top of the third. First pitch from Tolman, off speed, misses away for ball 1. Tolman has not thrown a strike in 3 batters. The lefty sets. Peeks back at second and now will throw to first. Is back in time as Moretto. Not too big of a lead over there. Tolman, the native of Lake Forest, California, and attended El Toro High School. He's one of the top recruits in the 2018 class at Arizona State. So he looks back again at second. Sets 1-0. Off speed, looked like he missed inside again, and the count will go to 2-0 on Radcliffe.
Come on, Eric.
Radcliffe yet to have an extra base hit this summer, hitting at .231. Left side out of Georgia Tech. Had 5 doubles and 4 home runs in the spring with Georgia Tech. 2-0. Fastball on the outside corner. There's a strike from Eric Tolman. And the count will go to 2-1. We'll see if that strike right there brings a little momentum for Tolman. His command has led to him allowing 3 free passes on the base paths here with 2 outs. Lefty sets 2-1. Off speed outside for ball 3. 3-1 the count on Barron Radcliffe. That curveball has been starting on the outside corner and dove out of the strike zone, away from the left-handed hitters. But Tolman hasn't gotten anyone to chase. 3-1 on the way. Swing and a miss from Radcliffe as he cuts through a fastball. Looked like it was right around the knees, and the count will go full, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
This is a big at-bat, big full count pitch here for Tolman, looking to get out of this inning, leaving this game tied.
The runners are going to go on the pitch. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the third. Tolman sets at the belt, 3-2. Swing and a chopper over towards first base. Jack Thomas Wold overfields it, throws to Tolman, covering the bag at first, and it's in time for out number 3. So Tolman works himself into and out of trouble here in the top of the third inning as he leaves the bases loaded and keeps this ball game tied at 2. We'll head to the bottom of the third inning here from Red Wilson Field, 2-2 between the Red Sox and the Commodores here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. 9-1-2 set to come to the plate for the Red Sox as the Commodores have evened the score here at 2 at Red Wilson Field. TJ Mathewson and Andre Sims here with you from South Yarmouth. Sam Hall, Wyatt Young, and Noah Campbell set to come to the plate for YD. Hall, the 9-hole hitter, hitting an even 200 on the summer so far. Awaits the first pitch from Tyler Ross, swings at it, lifts it high and deep to left field. That's going to back up the left fielder DeLoke. He finds it up in the sky, and he settles under it to make the catch for out number 1. Hall up there aggressively attacking that first pitch and just skies it out to left field where DeLoke looked up. He went back on a hard sprint for a second and then stopped, had to come back in to make the catch on Hall for out number 1. So that'll bring up Wyatt Young, hit by a pitch to lead off the Red Sox first inning. In his only plate appearance today, swings at the first pitch, cuts through it for a strike, and it's 0-1. Was 0 for 1 in a pinch hitting performance versus the Harwich Mariners on Wednesday. He struck out swinging. 0-1, shows bunt, and comes up empty as they appeal down to third base. And third base umpire Matthew Gaetani says Young didn't go around on the bunt attempt. Pulls it back in time, and the count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. Cool for Wyatt yesterday getting to go to Fenway Park. Lifelong Red Sox fan, grew up in Hawaii. 1-1, upstairs with a fastball. And the count is 2 balls and a strike. But as a lifelong Red Sox fan growing up in Honolulu, Hawaii, probably couldn't be much farther away than that to be a fan of the Red Sox. Finally got to go see Fenway Park yesterday. 2-1, swing and a rip foul down the first base side. And the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes on Wyatt. Our Brian McLaughlin did an on-field interview with him yesterday. And like Wyatt was having a lot of fun. Getting to work out on the field, take batting practice. So run the 60, the 3 main parts of the Fenway Day workout. Ross winds 2-2. Swing, a little looper over shortstop. Cruz going back. DeLoke going in, and it drops in between them for a base hit. So Young has reached base for the second time here today as he bloops a single out into shallow left field. And that'll bring up the designated hitter, Noah Campbell. Smacked a 2-run home run to straightaway center field his first time up. His second home run of the season. Second home run and his 5th and 6th RBIs. Sitting .467 on the season, not qualified for the batting title though. Ross sets, first pitch to Campbell. It misses low for a ball, and the count's 1-0. Noah had an awesome summer here in 2018. Hit .364 with 6 home runs. Just 32 games played. So he really did it all from both sides of the plate. Turn and a throw over to first base. Young back in plenty of time. But most of the power for Noah has come from this left side. So whenever he's got a chance to face a righty, it's to bat left-handed. Out of South Carolina, the rising junior. Ross sets, 1-0. Fastball on the outside corner for a strike, evens up at 1-1. And Campbell really does it all for the Red Sox. Leads the team in steals, 5 for 5 this season. To go along with the power numbers, he's now got 2. Sits him at 3rd in the team in the home run category. 1-1. Gets down inside, gets past Klotch behind the plate. Young off from his spot at first base. He'll coast into second in plenty of time. As Klotch couldn't keep that off-speed pitch in front of him. Tried to chest it up, and it just skips past him. That'll allow the Red Sox to have a runner now in scoring position with an out here for Campbell. Noah peers down to Scott Pickler at third, gets his signs. He digs back in the lefty batter's box. Wyatt Young now leads off of second. Here's the pitch from Ross. 2-1 is cut on and missed from Campbell. And the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Noah playing a lot more outfield here in his second summer in the Cape. Played a lot of second base last summer here with the Red Sox. Mostly been out in left field so far. Designated hitter role today for Scott Pickler. Ross sets again, 2-2. Swing and a foul off the netting on the third base side behind the Red Sox dugout. And the count will stay even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Campbell had a rough sophomore season at South Carolina. Hit just .239 with 6 home runs and 6 doubles. Was a preseason second-team All-American by Baseball America as the 2-2 misses down and in the dirt. And Noah's worked the count full 3 balls and 2 strikes. And was the number 10, that strong summer he had last summer, listed him as the number 10 draft prospect in the 2020 draft by D1 Baseball. He's also a preseason All-SEC first team, but then really struggled as a sophomore. Here's the 3-2. Swing and a chopper off the foot of Campbell and foul. And the count will stay full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. But when he's picked up a wood bat back here on the Cape, he's picked up right where he left off, showing off all the tools with a wood bat, and in the end, that's really all that matters.
Oh, absolutely. He's come in and done nothing but produce. For this YD Red Sox team, you talked about it, setting the table at the top of the order, getting on base, stealing bases, but also providing the thump with a couple of home runs, multiple RBIs, extra base hits. He's really done it all for this Red Sox team so far this season.
Here's the 3-2 to Campbell. Fastball, strike 3 called on the outside corner. Campbell didn't like the call as he tossed his bat aside. He was ready to head down to first. But Sam Finn rings him up for strike 3. The 3rd strikeout of the ball game for Tyler Ross. His first look in. And that will bring up the Red Sox home run leader and the league home run leader, Austin Wells. He struck out swinging back in the 1st inning. This is Ross's first start of the summer. He's appeared in 2 games previously. He's yet to allow a run. First pitch to Wells is down and inside. It's 1-0. Well, yet to allow a run coming into this ball game, where he served up 2 thanks to the home run from Noah Campbell. Commodores defense playing Wells straight up, infield and out. 1-0 to Wells. Swing and a chopper down the third base side, hugging the line, but it ticks just foul. As Wells will have to come back down to home plate after trotting up the first base line about 3/4 of the way. The count evens at a ball and a strike on Austin. Only 2 Red Sox hit home runs during batting practice, by my count at least, at Fenway yesterday. A lefty and a righty. Andrew Reister hit one up over the Green Monster. Jack Wold knocked one into the bullpens at Fenway yesterday. Besides that, a lot of bangs off the Green Monster as the 1-1 curveball misses down in the dirt, and the count goes to 2 balls and a strike. Saw a few players from, I couldn't remember really what team, it might have been Brewster.
Brewster putting on a show.
Knocking them all the way up the Monster and over the Monster as well. Big advertisement boards hanging above the Monster. They're knocking it off of those. Couldn't remember exactly who it was. 2-1. This is off the plate. An off-speed pitch there, it looked like. And the count goes to 3 balls and a strike on Wells. Always fun to see who can hit it the farthest there at Fenway. Finally get the big league dimensions. Guys had a lot of fun yesterday. It's a surreal experience for players and interns alike. Ross sets 3-1 to Wells. Swinging a rope up the middle into center field for a base hit. Wyatt Young hits the pillow at third. He's being waved home. The throw will be cut off at second base by Hayden Cantrell. And Wells drives in the run and breaks the tie here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. An RBI single from Austin Wells makes it 3-2 YD as he brings home Wyatt Young from second base.
Number 4, Riley
Much of the same thing
King.
so far in this one that we saw in the first couple times these 2 teams face in the back and forth affair. It's sort of an anything you can do, I can do better approach from both these offenses as they just continue to go back and forth, back and forth.
So now 3-2 YD. The cleanup man for the Red Sox, Riley King, steps in. swings at the first pitch, kind of an in-between hack there from the Georgia Bulldog, as he chases an off-speed pitch down and away for strike one.
Come on, Riley.
King has had a hit in every game he's played with YD so far, riding a 5-game hitting streak, hitting .412. 0-1, swing and a miss from King, and the count's quickly 0-2. He's yet to record an extra base hit. He's driven in 2 runs. He's added to the roster late. Not late, but about a week or so into the season. It's really made an impact for YD. 0-2 on the way. Fastball misses off the plate. Claunch tries to frame it for Sam Finn. Try and make it look a little better. When it misses outside, the count will go to 1-2. A run in for the Red Sox here in the bottom of the third. They lead 3-2 here at Red Wilson Field. Nice to have a sunny Friday home game. 1-2, misses down and away. Wells going on the pitch. He'll scoot down into second base without a throw, as Claunch couldn't get it out of the dirt. So Austin Wells is now 3 for 3 on stolen bases this summer. Showing off the wheels, he's been a good athlete. He's played in the outfield. In center field, we saw him in center field against Harwich on Wednesday. And behind the plate as well. 2-2 to King, fouled up and out of play behind home plate. And the count stays even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. But Wells looks okay out in center field. A catcher by trade. It's one of the main backstops for University of Arizona. Out there in center field on Wednesday. He leads off of second. King with an even count, 2-2 at the plate from the right side. The righty Ross sets, looks back at second base. Here comes the 2-2. Curveball misses down and in the dirt. Blocked by Claunch. And a good take from Riley King as he watched that one drop out of the strike zone. And from 0-2, King does work the count full, 3-2.
And that really just shows the type of athlete that Austin Wells actually is. Not the atypical catcher profile of just the bruising, thumping bat with not a lot of athleticism otherwise, except for maybe a quick pop time. He is an absolute all-tools athlete.
3-2 to King, swinging a fly ball, shallow center field. In comes Tawa in center field. And in the right center field gap, he's there to make the catch for out number 3 and get Ross out of the inning. The Red Sox, though, strike for a run here in the bottom of the third, and Austin Wells, RBI single, puts the Red Sox in front 3-2 here in South Yarmouth. We'll head to the 4th inning. It's 3-2 Red Sox over Commodores here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Despite his rough top half of the third inning, Eric Tolman out to toe the rubber to start this 4th inning. The Whitey starter has made it through 3 frames, allowing 2 runs on 4 hits in his longest outing here in the Cape League season. So the Oregon State Beaver, Troy Claunch, will lead it off for the visiting Falmouth Commodores. He singled back in the 2nd inning. He steps in, the 8-man in the Commodores lineup. Watches a first pitch miss low for a ball. And the count's 1-0.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how long of a leash Scott Pickler gives Tolman in this inning. If it'll be the if a base runner gets on, that's it approach.
1-0. Fastball catches the outside corner for a strike. And the count evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike on Clutch. Tolman kicks again, 1-1. Again, catches the plate. Called a strike by Sam Finn, and the count has worked in Tolman's favor, 1-2. Longest outing of the season for Eric at Arizona State this season. 5 innings against Pepperdine. 1-2, swing and a line drive right center field. Sam Hall over in the gap, dives. Did he make the catch? Yes, he did. Sam Hall showing off the wheels in center field as he robs Troy Claunch of extra bases in the right center field gap. 1 down for the Commodores here in the 4th inning as Sam Hall has made one of the catches of the Red Sox season so far out there in right center.
I might say the catch of the Red Sox season thus far. He took an excellent route to that ball and absolutely had to, as it was sinking away from him, which is incredibly hard to play as an outfielder.
First pitch to Kevin Kendall, 0 for 1 today, misses outside for ball 1.
Took a headlong dive there to make the catch in the right center field gap. Eric Tolman certainly appreciated it. He had a huge smile on his face after that one.
1-0 is chopped foul right at home plate, and it's evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike here on Kendall. I mean, Hall was playing around straightaway center field and went way over into right center field to make the catch on that sinking line drive. And Sam, a good athlete, is a utility player at Clemson. He swiped 30 bags for the Tigers this season. That led the team. 1-1. Fastball misses low for a ball. It's 2 balls and a strike. But man, he covered a lot of ground out there.
Yeah, used every bit of that 30-base steal ability.
2-1. Swing and a broken bat. Little looper down the left field or third base side, however, and it scoots foul. As Terada over at third base gave it a look, but couldn't get back there in time. And the count will even at 2 balls and 2 strikes here on Kendall. And he had to fully lay out for that one. That wasn't one he caught as he was like jumping into the air. That was as he was hitting the grass. He was able to make that catch. As Kendall's going to have to get some new lumber from the Commodores dugout. Count even at 2-2 on the UCLA product. Kendall digs back in, the lefty. Awaits the 2-2. Strike 3 called on the outside corner. Eric Tolman strikes out Kevin Kendall, looking for his 2nd strikeout of the ballgame. As he freezes the UCLA Bruin. And 2 down for the Commodores. Will flip the lineup over for Hayden Cantrell. Red hot Hayden Cantrell is 1 for 1, 2 runs, and 2 stolen bases so far. So he digs in from the right side. The Cape League Player of the Week last week awaits the first pitch. It bounces in there to Wells, and the count's 1-0. Cantrell, the 2nd-year Commodore, having a much better summer. Under 200 last year with Falmouth. 1-0. Up and outside, and the count goes to 2-0 on Cantrell. He's now hitting .343 and has only added to that here today. Tolman kicks 2-0. Swing and a rocket off the foot of Tolman. It careens to Terada at third. Long throw to first is not in time to get Cantrell. So that's just the way the ball's been bouncing for Hayden Cantrell. When you're hot, it'll bounce and find some free grass. As that one, a frozen rope off looked like caught the foot of Tolman and careened to Terada at third, who tried to make the play. Couldn't quite get Cantrell over at first as he's 3 for 3, and Pick and the trainers out of the dugout. Take a look at Tolman.
Yeah, that was an absolute rocket back up the middle, and it caught the plant foot of Eric Tolman there on the mound as he fell to the ground. Seems to be okay, though, as Scott Pickler was quickly headed back to the dugout.
So Tolman looks like he's going to be all right. And that will bring up Blake Dunn out of Western Michigan. 370, on the season, 227. This Cape League campaign is 1 for 1 with a Also got caught stealing back in the third inning when he singled as Tolman throws over to first. Back in time is Cantrell, who's seen the baseball unbelievably well here this season. Another turn and throw to first base. A closer play as time's called over there as Cantrell might have jammed his finger over at first. He's shaking off his right hand. Still no count here on Blake Dunn. Looks like Cantrell's all right. He throws the glove back on his left as Tolman throws over again to first. And Cantrell back. He walks right back off the bag as soon as Jack Thomas Wold throws it back to Tolman. He's got that glove on his left hand for him to dive into that second base bag should he choose to steal. Tolman kicks and fires a pitch out. Cantrell stays right, put at first base, and it's ball one.
Yeah, got the glove on the left hand, jammed the right one on that dive back into first.
Well, Cantrell's definitely got Tolman's attention over there at first. Lefty sets, now throws over to first again, and Cantrell back in plenty of time without a slide.
I'm waiting for someone to try to pull off a hidden ball trick here on Cape Cod.
Well, it's possible here. Always possible, the guy on first, but Cantrell, as soon as Wold throws the ball back, is the 1-0. Fouled straight back towards our camera. And the count's even at a ball and a strike on Blake Dunn. But as soon as Jack Thomas Wold is throwing the ball back to Tolman on the mound, Cantrell is off the bag, just like that. You wonder if Wold can get him with that move over at first. 1-1. Off speed misses down low. And the count goes to 2 balls and a strike. Be pretty funny, though, if we're able to pull it off.
It's like the one thing in baseball that I've never seen in person before, so I'm rooting for it.
As Tolman quickly throws over to first base. Cantrell dives back in time. But I feel like it's summer ball. Guess we might get a chance. Tolman staring a hole through the back of Austin Wells' head. Gets the sign. Kicks the 2-1. Misses down low, an off-speed pitch. For ball 3, it's 3 balls and 1 strike here on Blake Dunn. 2 out base runners were trouble for Tolman in the third inning. He allowed 3 straight 2 out base runners. And is in danger of serving up 2 straight 2 out base runners here in the fourth inning as he throws over to first again. And Cantrell is back in plenty of time. Dunn in the righty box, ahead 3-1. Tolman kicks, 3-1. There goes Cantrell from first. Pitch misses for ball 4. Wells throws down, but ball 4 is called at home plate by Sam Finn. And although a great throw from Austin Wells would have nabbed Cantrell at second base had that been called a strike, it was called ball 4. The pitch looked pretty good from Tolman. And a great throw from Wells to get Cantrell stealing, but instead the second baseman will record his 3rd steal of the day. And Blake Dunn will reach on a base on balls. And 2 straight base runners here with 2 outs for the Commodores.
It was I'm very confused about what just happened because Matthew Gaitane just started to signal safe, then gave the out call, and now it appears that he was actually calling Cantrell safe at second base.
As the first pitch misses inside, an off-speed pitch that counts 1-0. Yeah, confusing, I agree. As picks out of the dugout after that ball 1 from Tolman, he signals down to the YD bullpen, and that looks like it'll do it for Tolman. So the base on balls here with 2 outs spells the end of the night for the ASU lefty. We have a new arm coming in for YD. We'll get you that to you on the other side of this break here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. It'll be the newest Whitey Red Sox out on the bump for Scott Pickler as he made the call down to the bullpen, relieving Eric Tolman after 3 2/3. The lefty allowed 5 hits, 2 runs. They were both earned. He walked 2 and struck out 2. That will give way to Cullen Kafka out of the University of Oregon. The 6'4", 212-pound right-hander will inherit a 2-on and 2-out jam here in the top half of the 4th inning. He winds, fires the first pitch to Trey Cruz. Switch hitter now batting left-handed. Curveball misses outside. And it's 2-0. Count was 1-0 on Cruz as the pitching change was made. Kafka this spring with the Ducks, a 5.48 ERA and 67 in a 3rd inning. Started 14 of his 15 appearances. 2-0. Fastball misses inside, and the count quickly 3 balls and no strikes on Cruz.
Come on, Cullen.
Cullen struck out 58, walked 42. In a season where he struggled with Oregon, allowed hitters to hit .324 against him. Kafka sets 3-0. Fastball right down the middle for a strike, and it's 3-1. Allowed nearly 2 base runners per inning at Oregon. His freshman season struggled as well out of the bullpen. A few spot starts sprinkled in there, had an ERA just under 7 at 6.8. Up here on the Cape with the Red Sox. He sets at the belt, 3-1. Swing and a foul out of play, third base side, and he's worked the count back full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. As a 2-time letterman at De La Salle High School in Concord, California, a native of Walnut Creek, California.
Not far from where I am in California. It's actually where I work.
Bay Area. He sets right at the belt. And the 3-2. Swing and a foul as the runners go on the pitch, and he'll get out of play behind home plate.
A lot of people talk about the De La Salle football program, and rightfully so, as it literally didn't lose a game for 20 years in the Bay Area. They even got a movie made about them.
That's pretty good.
That is not bad, but their baseball team equally as successful. Very, very good across both sports.
Was the East Bay Athletic Pitcher of the Year as a senior. Kafka sets, now throws over to first base, and back in time is Blake Dunn. Kafka trying to keep the runners on their toes as they'll go on this pitch. Here with 3 balls and 2 strikes and 2 outs. Was 11-1 with a 1.15 ERA as a senior at De La Salle. He sets again, 3-2. Swing and a pop-up, and it'll get foul and out of play. Straight over our heads in the press box, and the count stays full. The runners will retreat back to their bags. Cantrell to second, and Dunn to first. Cruz 0 for 1 today. As he digs back in from the left side, the switch hitter. Kafka sets, runners their leads again. There they go, 3-2. Swinging another foul out of play along the third base side, and we'll go again at 3 balls and 2 strikes. A good battle here from Trey Cruz. Falmouth started the game, got on the board first, an RBI single from Tim Tawa. And the Red Sox responded with a 2-run home run in the bottom half of the first inning off the bat of Noah Campbell. And the teams traded a run apiece in the third. So here's the 3-2. Off speed, misses inside for ball 4. So Cruz will reach over to first base and reach for the first time today. And 2 straight walks from Whitey pitching will load the bases for the Stanford Cardinal, Tim Tawa. So Tawa 1 for 1, drove in the only one of the 2 runs for the Commodores today. Also reached on a hit by pitch back in the 3rd inning where Eric Tolman really lost his control with 2 outs. So he hit Tawa, walked DeLoke, and hit Moretta to load the bases quickly. First pitch from Kafka. Off speed misses down into the dirt, blocked by Wells. And it's 1-0. These Whitey pitchers over the past week or so have done a much better job of staying ahead in the count and not falling behind. But that's not been the case here today. This is a Falmouth lineup that really struggles on the road. Coming into today, they had scored 2 runs total in their 3 road games. 1-0, swinging a chopper off home plate, fielded by Wells, and he'll run over it, but it's foul. Just up that third base line. The count is now even at a ball and a strike. This being just game number 11 for Falmouth, while it's game number 13 for YD. Commodores going to make up these games in the coming off days. Bases packed full of Commodores. 1-1, 2 outs here in the top of the 4th inning. Kafka sets. Here's the 1-1. Fastball called a strike on the outside corner, and it's now 1-2. If Tawa can reach, Zach DeLoke is on deck. Falmouth trailing by a run, looking to tie it up, perhaps take a lead here in the top of the 4th inning. Kafka again sets. 1-2. This is just below the kneecaps. Swells had to go down to his right to get that one. And it evens up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cantrell on third, Dunn over at second, Cruz at first. They've all reached with 2 outs here in the 4th inning. 2-2 from Kafka. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Gets him with the breaking ball and gets the Red Sox out of a bases-loaded 2-out jam for the 2nd straight frame and keeps YD in the lead 3-2. We'll head to the 5th, or bottom of the 4th, pardon, from Red Wilson Field. Red Sox 3, Commodores 2, here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Eister.
5, 6, and 7 coming up for the Red Sox here on the bottom half of the 4th inning. They lead 3-2 here from Red Wilson Field. TJ Mathewson and Andre Sims here with you from South Yarmouth. Andrew Eister, Jack Thomas Wold, and Riley Terrata penciled to come to the plate here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Eister, a check swing at the first pitch, a curveball from Ross. It misses a strike as Eister swings over the top of it on a check swing. And it's 0-1. Second on the team in home runs with 3 is Eister. Dribbles the 0-1 foul up the third base side. And counts 0-2. Out of South Carolina. Teammates with Red Sox Noah Campbell. Played at Santa Fe College as a true freshman. Hit .413 with 13 home runs and 53 runs batting in before transferring to South Carolina as a sophomore. 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3 for Eister. He's down on 3 pitches to start this 4th inning. So he strikes out swinging, the 4th strikeout for Tyler Ross on the bump for the Commodores. That'll bring up Jack Thomas Wool. first baseman for the Red Sox. He grounded out to second base his first time up as he bats from the left side. So Wold steps in, awaits the first pitch, swinging a rocket up the middle, skipping through the infield and into center field for a base hit. That went right by the legs of Tyler Ross on the mound. He swatted his glove at the grass, thinking he might have been able to get to that one.
Third baseman.
But it manages to get through into center field for a one-out base hit for YD. That'll bring up Riley Terada. It's 1 for 1 today, singled back in the second inning. Terada digs in, the third baseman for YD. From the right side. First pitch, swing and a foul out of play on the first base side. And the count's 0-1. Terada, the sophomore out of Dayton. 6'3", 208 pounds. Playing third base. It's most that way for YD this year. Ross sets 0-1. Fastball on the inside corner. And the count's no balls and 2 strikes. Ross, a 4-pitch guy. A fastball, a curveball, a changeup, and a slider.
Come on, Riley.
On the mound for Falmouth, making his first start of the summer. Kicks 0-2. Off speed, misses away. Good take by Terada. The count's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Standing at 6'4", 195 pounds. And a two-way player for the Crimson Tide. 1-2. Misses down and outside. Evens up the count at Terada on 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hit .255 this spring. 7 runs batted in. He's had a record of 1-3. Struck out 25 in 37 innings for the Crimson Tide. This time is called by Sam Finn at home plate. Had 2 long balls as well in the spring, along with 4 doubles. He sets 2-2. Fastball misses just inside off the plate. And the count will go full 3 balls and 2 strikes. No flinch from Sam Finn behind the plate. Wold off of first base with 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Red Sox looking to score for the 2nd straight frame and for the 3rd time in 4 innings. 3-2, swung on and fouled out of play on the first base side. And the count stays full. Good crowd here at Red Wilson with finally good weather here on the Cape. First Friday night home game for the Red Sox, Red Shirt Friday. So they wear their specially customized red home uniforms that every team gets. 3-2, Wold goes from first. The pitch is chopped up the third base line. Stays fair for Moretto. The long throw over to first base is in time to get Terada. Wold going on the pitch, gets into second base in plenty of time. As Moretto had to make the play deep behind, in the bag behind third, as that ball just stayed fair by not too much. And made the long throw over to retire Terada for out number 2 here in the 4th inning. That'll bring up R.J. Yeager out of Mercer, the shortstop. Kick in the first pitch from Ross, swinging a weak dribbler towards short. Cruz fields on the run, throws to first, it pulls Radcliffe off the bag. Wolf coming home, the throw to the catcher clutches in time to get Wold rounding the bag at third and coming home. So an aggressive send from Pick at third base. And Wold is gunned down after Yeager would have reached over at first base due to the errant throw from Cruz, but instead the Commodores able to get out of the inning. So we'll head to the 5th inning. Here from Red Wilson Field, it's the Red Sox 3 and the Commodores 2 here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Top of the 5th inning here at Red Wilson Field on an absolutely picture-perfect day for baseball in South Yarmouth. Andre Sims, TJ Mathewson with us. 3-2 our score as we thank you for spending a bit of your Friday afternoon and evening with us. Bringing you some Red Sox baseballs. The first pitch to Zach DeLoach. It's a called strike. 0-1 chopped foul back to the screen, and it's 0-2.
Fans, it's time to give last call for the 50-50 raffle.
Tim Tawa. Zach DeLoach, third at-bat of the day. Struck out and then walked in his second at-bat as that one's grounded up the middle for a base hit. So once again, Commodores with the runner on.
Third baseman from Cal State, Sacramento.
Yet again, the leadoff runner is on for the second time tonight. And Colin Kafka back into the stretch. Steven Moretto now steps in, flew out to center, and got hit by a pitch in his second at-bat. First pitch is down and away for a ball, 1-0. Kafka making his YD debut. Got out of the bases loaded jam in the last frame for Falmouth. The 1-0. Grounded on the back towards Terada. He bobbles it. Strong throw across the diamond. Not in time. It's an E5. Looked like a double play ball off the bat, but Terada couldn't get it out of his glove efficiently. And it's now first and second after the error.
First baseman from Georgia Tech, Baron Radcliffe.
So Falmouth very quickly in business, threatening to tie the game here in the top of the 5th inning. Kafka immediately finds himself in some trouble he didn't ask for. Two on, nobody out. Baron Radcliffe at the plate. First pitch gets away from Wells, and now the double play is out of order. And it's second and third, still nobody down. Radcliffe in a big RBI spot here. Popped up to third in his first AB. Grounded back to Tolman on the mound in his second at-bat, and in a big spot here for Falmouth. That one is smothered in the dirt by Austin Wells behind home plate, and it's 2-0. Once again, the YD pitching staff, which as we have mentioned has done so much better recently, staying ahead of hitters, keeping runners off the base paths, has done nothing but end up in jams through the first 4+ innings of play here in this one. The 2-0. And that one is low at the shins, and the count is 3-0. Radcliffe checks down at the third base coaching box, gets his signs, steps back in. DeLoach at third, Moretto at second. Kafka will step off and gather himself. And now he's set at the belt. 3-0. That one's in there for a called strike. Took a little bit off. Radcliffe was taking all the way. 3-1. Still very much a hitter's count here for Radcliffe. Points the bat out towards Kafka on the mound. Now pulls it back. 3-1. Swung on and missed, and the count runs full. It's 3-2. This would be a big first out for Kafka in his YD debut. If he can come back from down 3-0 to get the first out of the inning. Kafka set, kicks and deals, got him swinging on the fastball, and there's the first out.
fans.
Well, that's a good way to bounce back from Colin Kafka, where it looks like he's going to get a really clutch double play to get him off the hook for allowing the leadoff base runner to reach, and DeLoach ends up with runners on at second, third, comes back and able to get Radcliffe on a really good pitch right there, and a big first out.
Troy Clonch now steps in, entered the day hitting 143, got absolutely robbed by Sam Hall out in center field. They shading Clonch to pull a little bit, and Hall tracked well into the right center field gap to make a headlong dive. Rob Clonch of extra bases. Clonch singled in his first at-bat of the day. Still runners at second and third here. 3-2 our score. Falmouth with 2 runs on 6 hits, 1 error. Red Sox with 3 runs on 5 hits and 1 error. The 1-0 pitch is a sweeping breaking ball that sweeps outside, and it's 2-0. Kevin Kendall waits on deck. 9-hole hitter. Clonch looking to drive in a couple RBIs here and give Falmouth the lead. That one swung right at Wyatt Young at second base. He'll field on a hop. DeLoach comes in, and this game is tied 3-3. So an RBI ground out for Troy Clonch ties this game, and now Kevin Kendall will step in still with the go-ahead run 90 feet away.
The Red Sox defense had an opportunity to try and gun the runner down at home. I'm sure they would have tried it, but Wyatt Young playing deep in the hole at second base there, gets that one on one hop, doesn't really have to move. It's way too long of a throw to try it at home plate, so just take the easy out over at first.
Infield still playing back, slightly shifted as R.J. Yeager stands not too far to the right of the second base bag as the first pitch from Kafka is a breaking ball in there for a called strike to Kendall. Riley Terrada's even with the bag at third. And Wyatt Young well into the second base hole as they are playing Kendall to pull. Swung on and missed the breaking ball, and it's 0-2. So far in this one, Falmouth has scored in every other inning, the first, the third, and now the fifth. 1 apiece for their 3 runs. YD got 2 in the first and then 1 in the third. 0-2 the count on Kendall. Kafka looking in, getting a sign from Austin Wells. So he'll step off as those two aren't exactly on the same page here. Steven Moretto waits on third base. He'll step off once again, and Colin Kafka wants to talk about it. It was a leadoff single, followed by the E5 from Terrada, so the first run of this inning is unearned for Kafka.
Dennis Mass, please report to the press box.
So Wells and Kafka have had their discussion. Now Wells retakes his crouch. Kendall steps back in, and the count is still 0-2. Wind slightly blowing out to left. Pitch out, and they got him picked off. So that's what they were talking about, and they execute the back pick to perfection. Wells to Terrada, and they get Moretto, and they catch him napping there on his secondary, and that'll end the inning. But not before Falmouth pushes the tying run across the plate. We head to the bottom of the fifth. You're listening to Red Sox Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Come on, Sam.
Bottom of the 5th inning. Sam Hall steps in. And he will face Aiden Maldonado, the new pitcher on the bump for Falmouth. As his first pitch is off the inner half, and it's a ball 1-0. Maldonado against YD picked up the win when an inning and 2/3 did not allow a base runner. But on the year, his ERA is north of 7. So that one's high and tight to Sam Hall. And it's 1-1. Excuse me, 2-0. Was roughed up at Hyannis in 2/3 of an innings. Gave up 3 runs, 2 of them were earned, 2 hits. Working out of the stretch. Delivers a called strike in there, 2-0, and it's now 2-1.
Come on, Sam.
Maldonado, Rosemount, Minnesota native, born in the year 2000. Just turned 19 in May. It's now 2-2. Hall steps out, adjusts his sleeve. Now steps back in, 2-2. Hall flew out to left his first time up. Maldonado working from a slightly closed stretch position. Unleashes a good breaking ball there. Hall swings over the top of it. That's out number 1.
Second baseman from Pepperdine University, Wyatt Young.
So now that'll cycle YD back to the top of the order. Wyatt Young steps in for his 3rd at-bat of the day. He's reached base twice. Took a pitch off the ankle from Tyler Ross in the 1st inning. And then singled, stole a base, scored a run in the 3rd. Young slightly choked up on the bat. Looks at a fastball on the outer half, 0-1. Wyatt Young very quietly having a very good year for this YD Red Sox team. Came in on a temporary contract from Pepperdine and just kept performing at the start of the year. Scott Pickler just kept him in the lineup, but you oftentimes found him in this leadoff spot where he currently is today as he skies one down the left field line. Tailing foul, and it will be out of the reach of Zach DeLoach out there and left. Young will trot back to the batter's box, and it's 0-2. Saw Wyatt Young really be locked into that leadoff spot in the early parts of this season. Then as more people started arriving here on Cape Cod, saw his at-bats dip, saw him playing in different parts of this YD batter's box, saw him hitting 6th and 7th, and now back in the leadoff spot today. Lifelong Red Sox fan, models his game after Red Sox second baseman Dustin Pedroia. The 0-2. Swung on and missed as he swings through the fastball there, and Maldonado has struck out the first 2 batters he's faced.
A good start here for Maldonado. Was really good last time out against the Red Sox. Mentioned didn't allow a base runner, and off to a hot start here.
So now Noah Campbell steps in. Hit a 2-run line drive home run in his first at-bat of the game back in the 1st.
She was hired by my grandfather when they opened her, so they, the one and only secretary of Jonathan.
Maldonado fires the first pitch, a fastball wide, and it's 1-0. Campbell batting from the left side, switch hitter. So that one's in the dirt, 2-0. Campbell, very successful here in this Cape League season thus far. Setting himself up to be looking at an all-star nod. Checks his swing, but it doesn't matter. It's a called strike, 2-1. Shadows have crept in over the mound, engulfing most of the area between the mound and home plate, but most of the infield still very much in the sun. As the 2-1 is in there for a late called strike 2, and the count is even.
Well, he still hasn't come to my house either. He lives with 2 people. He's still waiting on to do my work.
Count even at 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down here in the inning. Maldonado looking to strike out the side. That one's in the dirt, smothered behind the plate by Troy Claunch, and the count runs full.
Noah's done a really good job of not chasing too many pitches this season. He's only struck out 4 times so far on the summer. Struck out looking back in the 3rd inning on pitch he thought was ball 4. Ended up being strike 3.
Full count now. Maldonado delivers. And he got Campbell swinging on the fastball. So Maldonado come in and does exactly what he's supposed to do. Strikes out the side. In this one, we head to the top of the 6th. Our score is tied 3-3. You're listening to Red Sox Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Kevin Kendall.
Kevin Kendall will lead things off here in the top of the 6th inning, as he was up when Steven Moretto was picked off at 3rd base. So we'll get a fresh AB and chop one weakly back to the mound. Kafka will throw on to Wold at first, and that's very quickly the first out of the inning.
He wants a Diet Coke and peanuts. No.
Second baseman from
So
University
Hayden Cantrell, the second baseman, will step in, and he has done nothing but wreak havoc in this game for Falmouth. YD pitchers unable to keep him off the base path. Cantrell looks at the first pitch. It's a called strike, and it's 0-1. Cantrell singled, scored a run in the first, was hit by a pitch, stole a base, and then scored a run in the 3rd, and then singled again in the 4th. So the count evens at 1-1. Cantrell's been tearing up all Cape League pitching over the last week or so. There's another breaking ball from Kafka's in there for a called strike, 1-2. The 1-2 on its way. That one's low for a ball, 2-2. Cantrell steps back in, batting from the left side. Two on its way. That one's high for a ball and the count runs full. The wind is slightly blowing out to left as the American flag above the scoreboard has got some slight movement to it. Kafka shakes off a sign, now gets set to deliver the full count. That one's high, and once again, Hayden Cantrell is on.
These Red Sox pitchers just can't figure out a way to get Cantrell out. He's just been on an unbelievable tear since last week. And it just continues more here today. He's reached base all 4 times he's been up.
The on-base percentage continues to rise for Hayden Cantrell. Reached base safely all 4 times today. Pickoff move, Cantrell back with a dive. He has certainly been in the heads of pitchers today. Blake Dunn stands in as another pickoff attempt. Cantrell back again, certainly getting the uniform dirty in this one. Blake Dunn sacrificed in the first, and then has a base hit and a walk. The first pitch is a breaking ball that drops outside, 1-0.
Kafka should keep an eye over on Cantrell. As a couple of stolen bases here today. He's been pretty aggressive over there.
Cantrell gets his lead. Kafka comes set and delivers. It's a breaking ball. This one finds the zone, and it's 1-1. 3-3 our score here still in the top of the 6th inning. And for the first time in this one, Falmouth scored and YD did not return the favor in their half of the same inning. Pitch out. Cantrell back with a bit of an awkward feet first slide. 2-1. Cantrell doing exactly what you want your leadoff hitter to do. Get on base, wreak havoc on the base paths, and get in the pitcher's head so he loses focus on the batters currently standing in the box. Another pickoff throw. Once again, Cantrell back safely.
No, the workers were like, just scribble on the pad.
Count remains 2-1 here. There have been more pickoff throws than pitches to Dunn at the plate as he fouls the 2-1 pitch back and over the screen. The count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Come on, Colin.
Cantrell once again gets his lead. Kafka takes a couple deep breaths on the mound and steps off. Two the count. 1 down here in the inning. Infield at double play depth. Shading Dunn to play. Runner goes. Austin Wells opts not to make the throw as it was a bad pitch to throw on, and Cantrell once again steals second.
It's the 3rd time he's stolen the second base bag today. And none of the times have really been that close. He's just been wrecking havoc. Swidey Red Sox defense and pitching staff in the 3 games we've seen of him so far.
Three two pitches downstairs, and it's runners on first and second again. Seemingly every inning, Falmouth has had at least 2 runners on.
There's been a lot of traffic on the base paths for the Commodores. They've done a really good job of working the count and making the Whitey pitchers come to them, which the Red Sox, they have not today.
So a double play still gets Kafka out of this inning. Yeager holding on Cantrell at second base. Trey Cruz grounds the first pitch foul off the right-hand side, and it's 0-1. Trey Cruz on the day. A fly out, a pop-up, and a strikeout. It's his fourth at-bat. Surprisingly, as the 0-1 pitch is downstairs for ball 1-1, just the 3 runs allowed by this YD pitching staff in this one, despite this already being the 4th time through the Falmouth order. 1-1 now. Kafka checks Cantrell on second. That one's grounded right on the ground to Young. It'll be a double play ball. 4-6-3, and Kafka's out of the inning. So Kafka makes the right pitch, gets the tailor-made double play ball as Young flips it to Yeager. He flipped it to Wold, and that ends the inning and holds the score at 3 apiece. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. You're listening to Red Sox Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
From the University of Arizona.
Home half of the 6th inning. 3-3 our score. Andre Sims, TJ Mathewson with you. 3, 4, and 5. Heart of the order here for YD as they look to take the lead here. As Austin Wells, Riley King, and Andrew Eister gets to take their turn facing Maldonado, who struck out the side all swinging in his last inning of work. First pitch to Wells. Skips in to home plate, and it's 1-0.
Pam, George's wife. This is my dad. Mrs. Pam.
Wells had a strikeout in his first at-bat, then singled home Wyatt Young in the 3rd. And he rips a single. Cantrell stumbled a little bit, and that's a base hit. So Wells has his 2nd hit of the day. Pair of singles for him in this one. And Riley King steps in now, looking to extend his 5-game hitting streak. 0 for 2 today. Riley King grounded out to 3rd in his first at-bat, then flew out to center field. Identical lines in this one for both teams, both Falmouth and YD, with 3 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error. Wells is taking off on the pitch. Claunch's throw skips in. Cantrell applies the tag, not in time. Second stolen base of the day for Austin Wells. And there's the athleticism showing itself once again.
Now 4 for 4 on stolen bases this season. Shown excellent awareness there on the base paths.
He got himself a good pitch to run on. Clonch unable to get the throw in there on a line. And with the time it took for Cantrell to pick it and apply the tag, Wells got his foot in there. So he now sits on second base. 1-0 the count to Riley King at the plate. No one holding Wells on. The 1-0's in the dirt. Clonch quickly out of his crouch to smother it. And it's 2-0. Excuse me, 1-1. The scoreboard is now corrected. One to count. Maldonado comes set. Breaking ball misses off the plate inside, and it's 2-1. Beautiful day here as the sun continues to set in South Yarmouth. As we enter golden hour. 2-1. That one skied high and out of play down the left field side. That'll get up amongst the fans. Riley King now back in the box. Feed at the very edge of the right-hander's batter's box. Wells takes his lead off second, the 2-2. That one's in the dirt. Good check swing there from Riley King at the dish, and the count runs full. It's a credit to both of these lineups, working very deep counts against these pitchers. But also a credit to the pitching staffs for being able to get out of the jams they found themselves in. Full count now to King. As that one runs inside and the hit by pitches are just being handed out left and right in this one. It's now runners on first and second.
Yeah, now 2 hit by pitches on the day for YD. And 3 for the Commodores. These pitchers at parts today have just been all over the place, both on the Falmouth and YD side.
So that'll draw a visit on the mound. No motion to the bullpen. No one even working in the Falmouth bullpen, so just a chat here.
Red Sox would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official.
So a quick conference on the mound as the Red Sox have runners on first and second looking to take the lead. Nobody out. And Andrew Eister set to step up to the plate. He's got a pair of strikeouts in this one, so he'll be looking to get off the schneid and help his team out in this one.
Last time he saw Falmouth, he touched up the Commodores pitching staff for a pair of home runs in 2 games. That coming on Sunday in Falmouth. And he's going to get an opportunity to hit with runner in scoring position here in Wells and 2 runners on in total. See if he can come up clutch and put the Red Sox on top as they enter the 7th inning.
One of those home runs, as TJ mentioned, a 430-foot shot to straightaway center field at Gov Fuller Field. As he steps in now with 2 runners on and nobody out. Big opportunity here in the bottom of the 6th inning as Maldonado will spin around. Chase Wells back to the bag. No one crashing for the throw. Eister entered the day at 400. He'd come back down to earth a little bit. Squares to bunt, pops it up, foul. That'll drop though, and it's 0-1. Interesting ploy there from Scott Pickler, using one of your best hitters to bunt. Obviously understanding the value of 1 run in this one, especially with nobody out here in the inning. You want to be able to get those 2 runners moved up at 90 feet.
Yeah, especially with no outs, and Jack Wold, who singled today, waiting on deck with the lefty-righty advantage.
So 0-1 now to Eister. We'll see if he squares again. He does. This time pops it up again. Radcliffe crashing hard, unable to make the plays. Eister is 0 for 2 on bunt attempts.
And he's popped them both up. Usually happens when you dip, instead of keeping the bat level and letting the ball hit it, you're dipping the bat head, and it just ends up popping the ball up into the air, both times towards the first base side. So now Eister's going to have to work with an 0-2 count.
Both infielders now playing on the edge of the grass. Middle infield at double play depth. So large holds. If Eister can put something on the ground to the left or right side. Wells waits on second base. Riley King on first. And here's the 0-2 from Maldonado. So that one runs in and hits him. So another hit by pitch. And the bases are now loaded for YD.
Second straight hit by pitch from Aiden Maldonado, who just looked overpowering in the 5th inning. Has allowed 3 straight Whitey hitters to reach, and he's able to get Andrew Eister to pop up 2 bunts in a row in foul territory, be ahead 0-2, and then comes in with a fastball and just clips the jersey of Eister and loses him just like that.
So now Wold with the golden opportunity to break this game open for YD as he steps in with the bases juiced and nobody out. Wold with 1 swing of the bat can make a major difference in this one. It's the first pitch is a fastball down and in, 1-0.
Save the day.
Control an issue for both sides, as we've seen walks and hit by pitches galore.
Like, alright, are you hungry? Because I have that mac and cheese.
Wold awaits the 1-0 offering. Checks his swing, and that pitch is on the outer half, and it's 1-1. Maldonado set at the letters. Delivers the 1-1. Wold spoils it off the left-hand side. That one gets out of play. And now the count is 1-2.
I tried. I tried.
Riley Tirado waits on deck. Wold, the UNLV product, singled in his last at-bat, then was caught trying to sneak home.
I'd be like, no, I don't want the donut.
The 1-2. Swings through the fastball offering from Maldonado. That's a big first out for him. Wold down with his first strikeout of the night, and Riley Tirado will step in.
Just a well-placed fastball there on the outside corner that Wold just couldn't catch up to. That fastball, a firm one. Like it's sitting in the low 90s from Maldonado. And a big out number 1.
So similar to Kafka in the last half inning, the double play gets Maldonado out of this jam. As the infield will retreat, Radcliffe still playing even with the bag at first. First pitch to Tirado is looped over the head of Trey Cruz at short, and that'll get a run in. Cruz tried to deke Austin Wells a little bit by bluffing that he was going to make the catch, but it drops into shallow left center field, and it's an RBI single for Riley Tirado.
Shortstop from Mercer University, RJ.
Tirada's picked up his first 2 singles of the season today, and his 2 for 3 day. Neither hit very hard, but it gets the job done. Cruz, for a second, had me confused too up here in the booth as he tries to deke the base runners. The Red Sox score 1 run anyway and take the lead here in the 6th inning.
So now R.J. Yeager will step in, hoping to keep the line moving. Bases still loaded. Now 1 down in the inning. 1 run across. 4-3 our score. He squares to bunt. It's a suicide squeeze.
Nice call, Pickler.
And Riley King is toast at home plate.
Well, Pick there just trying to get aggressive, sending King down the third base line on the suicide squeeze, and all dependent on the batter getting the bunt down. If you don't get the bunt down, the runner is toast. So we saw King get tagged out there from Klotch.
Oh my God,
To Yeager's credit, it was an absolutely tough pitch to bunt on, down and away, well out of the zone. Gave it his best effort, but to no avail. So now 2 down in the inning. Runners on first and second as neither of the 2 runners advanced as King was tagged out.
Come on, RJ.
So now it falls squarely on the shoulders of R.J. Yeager with the count 1-1, looking to add a couple of insurance runs. He swings through a fastball. It's 1-2. And TJ, this was something that Brian and I talked about yesterday when Jack Leftwich got out of that jam in the 5th, where in context of this game, especially how tight it's been, that's one of those plays that you circle as potentially having a huge impact on the rest of this game.
Yeah, you always look at the later innings more than the middle or the early innings, but it, for the most part, comes down to one play. Can you make that play? And if you can, more often than not, it'll win the game. The Red Sox made a play here in the 6th inning, but then just had another runner proceedingly tagged out at home on a missed suicide squeeze.
The Red Sox have had 2 runners cut down at home plate, really without any competition. Wold was out by about 6 or 7 steps early in the game as Yeager swings over the top of an off-speed pitch, and that'll end the inning. So an aggressive call from Scott Pickler backfires as what could have been a very big inning is stifled after a failed suicide squeeze attempt. But the Red Sox do take the lead. We head to the top of the 7th inning. You're listening to Red Sox Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Tawa.
Top of the 7th inning here. YD leads 4-3. Tim Tawa steps in and faces the new arm for Scott Pickler, the righty Brandon Dufault. First pitch swinging, and Tim Tawa, and he waves and misses for a strike, 0-1. So the final line on Cullen Kafka, 2 1/3 inning, just 1 hit, 1 run, it wasn't earned. 3 walks and 2 strikeouts as the count's quickly 0-2. Oh, 2 pitches skied on the infield. Yeager battling the sun, will squeeze it and make the catch.
The left fielder from Texas A&M, Zach Deloche.
Deloche now will step in. His 4th at-bat, struck out, walked, singled, and then scored a run. First pitch skips away from Austin Wells, and it's 1-0. It's been an eventful day on the mound for all pitchers in this one. A lot of traffic on the base paths. 3 hit by pitches apiece. The 1-0 is a fastball in there for a strike, 1-1. Yet, despite all of the traffic on the base paths, just 7 combined runs in this one. Could very easily be a lot worse for both of these lineups.
Have a good day.
1-1 on its way. Just misses. And the count's 2-1. Brandon Dufault, the junior, out of Northeastern. The 2-1 pitch is a fastball, misses off the outer half, 3-1. 6'5", 195-pound righty.
You're all welcome.
I will pay you back for that.
Just a ring pop.
Get that. He goes,
Teammates of brief Whitey Red Sox, Jeff Costello.
Mom, you told me.
Scribbles her signature.
3-1 is skied off the left side. Tirada will give chase, but that'll get out of play. Nice catch over there by the fan.
At the end of this half inning of play, we will be announcing the 50-50 prizes.
Plays a third.
And now the count is full, 3-2.
Nora, you got one too.
You're all welcome. Anybody else want one?
Can I go get some shots? Oh,
Dufault gets the sign from Wells, comes set at the letters, and pumps the fastball right by the bat of Deloche. And that's the second out of the inning, first strikeout for Dufault.
Good use of the fastball there, elevates it in the strike zone. And Deloche just can't really catch up to it. Dufault has come out throwing strikes, retiring the first 2 batters he's faced here in the 7th.
So now, Steven Moretto steps in, reached on an error in his last at-bat, and then was caught napping on the back pick from Austin Wells at third base. The first pitch is a fastball that Moretto fouls straight back into the screen. He lets out quite the exhale. He was on it. The 0-1 pitch is a fastball, called strike on the outer half, 0-2. So, Dufault looking to work a quick 1-2-3 inning, And he will as he blows the fastball upstairs by the bat of Steven Moretto.
Okay, the first 50-50 winner.
Just the second 1-2-3 inning in this ball game for YD pitchers as Dufault works the scoreless frame. It's stretch time. YD leads 4-3. We head to the bottom of the 7th on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
4-3-1.
Bottom of the 7th inning here from Red Wilson Field. It's the Red Sox 4 and the Commodores 3 in South Yarmouth. TJ Mathewson and Andre Sims here with you from a beautiful Friday night on Cape Cod. New pitcher in for the Commodores in relief of Aiden Maldonado, who was really spectacular for Falmouth. 2 innings, 2 hits, a run that was earned, no walks, and 5 strikeouts. We'll give way to Sean Mullen out of UCLA. Fires a first pitch strike. Fastball over the outside corner. And the count's 0-1. 6'1", 185 pound. Sophomore. Fires the 0-1. Misses in off the plate. The count's even at a ball and a strike. Mullen, part of a UCLA team that spent most of the season at the top of the polls. The national rankings, the 1-1 misses a bit low. And the count will go to 2 balls and a strike. Working out of the windup to Sam Hall, the 9-hole hitter for YD. 2-1, skips in there, scooped out of the dirt by Claunch. The count will go to 3 balls and a strike. So Mullen just finishing up his freshman season. Didn't throw it all for the Bruins this year. It's the 3-1. Broken bat, line drive right at the third baseman, Moretto. He doesn't have to move too much as he makes the catch at about head level for out number 1 here in the 7th inning. So Wyatt Young, the leadoff man for YD, will lead it up. Well, comes to the plate with an out here in the 7th. He's 1 for 2, scored a run back in the 3rd inning when he recorded his only hit on the day, a single. Struck out swinging in the 5th. Was hit by a pitch to lead off the YD batting in the bottom of the 1st inning. Mullen winds, first pitch, swing and a foul straight back off the chain link behind home plate. The count's 0-1. Only action Mullins has seen as a member of the UCLA Bruins. Last summer, he pitched in the West Coast League with the Yakima Valley Pippins at a 16 ERA in an inning and 2/3. Not in very limited opportunity. 0-1. Catches the inside corner. It's quickly no balls and 2 strikes. A former 35th round draft pick of the Colorado Rockies back in 2018. 2.66 ERA as the 0-2, check swing down to third base. Gaetani down at third. Says that Young didn't go around. They'll exchange baseballs at home plate. Mullen gets a new baseball. The count will go to 1-2 on Mullen. Stockdale High School in Bakersfield, California is where Mullen's from. Righty winds, 1-2 on the way. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Young goes chasing out of the strike zone and comes up empty on what looked like an off-speed pitch right there. Maybe a changeup from Mullen for strike 3. So Noah Campbell now will come to the plate with 2 outs here in the 7th. The designated hitter for the Red Sox today homered back in the first inning to get the Red Sox on the scoreboard, a 2-run shot, and then struck out in his next 2 times up. He bats left-handed against Mullen. The switch hitter watches a first pitch fastball over on the outside corner for a strike. And the count's 0-1. Noah entered today hitting .467. The 4 is 1 for 3 outings so far. 0-1. This is off the plate, and it's 1-1. He's picked up right where he left off after last season, the returning Whitey Red Sox. One of a few scattered on this roster, 1-1. Swing and a miss from Noah, going chasing outside, and it's 1-2. Luke Waddell, who went to join Team USA earlier this week, returner from last season as well. So Luke batting leadoff for one of the scrimmage teams today as tryouts continues to go on for Team USA. 1-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Campbell chases out of the strike zone again, and he's retired on strikes. A pair of strikeouts for Sean Mullen on the bump for Falmouth as he sets down the Red Sox 1-2-3 in the 7th. 1 to the 8th inning. Here from Yarmouth, it's 4-3 Red Sox over Commodores here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Bottom third of the Falmouth lineup set to come to the plate here in the bottom half, or top half of the 8th inning. Here from South Yarmouth at about 7:30 local time here in the Eastern time zone in Cape Cod. Brandon Dufault still out on the bump, looking for it, working in his second inning of work, facing Barron Radcliffe out of Georgia Tech. He fires a first pitch fastball on the outside corner for a strike. It's 0-1. Dufault came in relief of Colin Kafka in the top half of the 7th inning. He sat down the Commodores 1-2-3. 0-1, swing and a miss from Radcliffe. And the count is 0-2 quickly. Dufault has come out throwing strikes. Struck out a pair back in the top half of the 7th, looking for his third here. Native of Windham, New Hampshire. Attended Windham High School. 0-2. Fastball. Tries to get Radcliffe to chase. He holds up. Misses high. Ball count as 1 ball and 2 strikes. Was 1-2 with a 5.4 ERA at Northeastern this year. In 22 games, he started 8. 1-2. This is off the plate. Another fastball by Dufault, and the count goes to 2-2. It was much better, even though with that 5.4 ERA, much better over the second half of his season at Northeastern. Scoreless in 7 of his final 10 outings. 2-2 is swung on Sky, deep center field. Backing up is Hall, turns in front of the fence, and he's there to make the catch right in front of the fence in left center field. Radcliffe gives it a ride the other way, but Sam Hall, who's shown off the wheels here today, makes another nice catch, ranging way back to his right. And there's one down for the Commodores here in the 8th inning. Back to lead off the 4th inning. Hall made a spectacular diving catch, robbing the man at the plate right here, Troy Claunch, who swings at the first pitch, launches it out towards right center field. Hall is back near the fence, and he didn't make the catch. It drops in. Claunch doesn't stop around first. He slides into second base, who Hall was unable to make the catch this time out in right and left center field. As Claunch, with one out, now stands at second base, a double. As Sam Hall just couldn't quite get there from his spot out in the outfield.
He almost did, though. Gave it a good chase. That one chased him all the way back to the wall, was battling the sun, trying to find the fence, and it just ticked off his glove.
So I was saying before, Hall made a spectacular diving catch, robbing Claunch back in the 3rd inning, but unable to do so there. So with an out, Kevin Kendall, the designated hitter, and 9-hole hitter for Falmouth, will step in. Dufault Pete's back at second. First pitch misses down low for ball 1. It's 1-0. Kendall 0 for 3 today, a pair of groundouts and a strikeout looking. Dufault has served up his first hit of his outing here tonight. As Claunch stands on second with the 1-out double. Wells now out from behind the plate, and he's going to have a quick chat with Dufault.
Fans, it's time for Prime on the Cape.
4-3 Red Sox score. Lead here in the top half of the 8th inning. Now Pick slowly out of the dugout. So there's an arm warming down in the Whitey bullpen. Red Sox looking to keep this lead as Pick motions down to the bullpen. And we're going to have a new arm here as Dufault serves up a 1-out double to Troy Claunch as he'll give way for a new Whitey arm here in the 8th inning. We'll step aside, get you the new pitcher on the other side of this break. You're on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. It'll be Chase Smith out of the Red Sox bullpen, the sophomore out of Pitt. He's tasked with shutting down the scoring chance for the Commodores here in the top half of the 8th inning. Runner on second, and Troy Claunch, Kevin Kendall at the plate. Righty Smith kicks, fires home the first pitch, swinging a dribbler up the middle. Ranging over is Yeager. On a slide, Fields throws to first, it's not in time. Kendall reaches at first base, able to beat out the throw from R.J. Yeager at shortstop. Advancing to third is Claunch. And now the Red Sox are working in trouble here with runners on at first and third, and the hottest hitter in the Commodore lineup, Hayden Cantrell, at the plate.
Not to be lost on that play, Jack Wold made an outstanding pick at first to keep that ball from getting past, which would have absolutely allowed the run to score and tie this game before Cantrell even stepped into the batter's box.
So the switch hitting Cantrell, bat left-handed. Smith, the righty. Sets, runners off their bases on the corners. First pitch misses outside to Cantrell. It's 1-0. But the big thing here, the double play is now in order. If Cantrell grounds one to any of the middle infielders, R.J. Yeager or White Young up the middle, will turn two. Runner goes from first. Cantrell swings, ropes it down the right field line, but hooks it well foul. And the count is going to even up at a ball and a strike. Smith has been excellent so far for YD. A 1-0 record, a 1.92 ERA, and 4 2/3 innings so far in his fourth game out of the bullpen. He has struck out 5 and walked just 2. Cantrell digs back in. He'll pinwheel the bat once, now twice, and bring it up as he's waiting for Chase Smith to get his sign from Austin Wells. The righty sets as Smith turns and throws over to first base. Back in time is Kevin Kendall. 4-3 Whitey leads here in the top of the 8th. The Commodores threatening for more. Looking to tie, perhaps take this lead here in the 8th inning. Anything into the outfield will probably do it as Cantrell calls for time at home plate. Sam Finn gives it to him. Count stays at 1-1. Anything in the outfield from Cantrell will most likely tie this game up at 4 apiece. 1-1. Off speed, misses off the plate from Smith, and it's 2 balls and a strike on Cantrell. The flagpole now laying limp out beyond the scoreboard in left field. Red Sox trying to keep this game at 4-3. Smith sets, 2-1. Fastball misses away. It's 3 balls and a strike on Hayden Cantrell. And I'd be kind of surprised if Cantrell sees anything over the plate right here, the way he's been swinging the bat. 3 balls, a strike here on Cantrell. Smith sets. 3-1. Runner goes from first, off speed, misses inside for ball 4. So Cantrell reaches for the 5th time today as he jogs down to first base. And now Blake Dunn, a chance to give the Commodores the lead, the go-ahead run, standing in the form of Kendall on second base. Walks aplenty for YD today. 5 walks for YD pitching. As Pick out of the dugout again. He motions to the Red Sox bullpen, and we're going to have another pitching change here from Red Wilson Field. So after 2 batters, Pick has seen enough of Jay Smith. We're going to have a new pitcher in from the Whitey bullpen. We'll get him to you on the other side of this break here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. It'll be the sophomore out of Cal Poly, Taylor Dollard, inheriting a bases-loaded jam here in the 8th inning. He'll face the two-man for the Commodores, Blake Dunn. Today has reached base 3 times. He's 1 for 1. Right-handed hitter out of Western Michigan. In from the right side against the righty Dollard, who sets first pitch. Off speed on the outside corner for a strike. It's 0-1. Bases are packed full of Commodores. Troy Clunch on third, Kevin Kendall on second, and Hayden Cantrell on first. 3 different Whitey pitchers have towed the bump in this inning. Here's the 0-1. Curveball misses down and outside for ball 1. It's 1-1.
This is a big spot for Dollard. He's been their most reliable reliever thus far this season, including a great outing in his last one. So we'll see if he can stem the tide here and strand the bases loaded.
And his 4th game right here with Whitey has yet to allow an earned run. 1-1. This is outside, blocked by Wells. It's 2 balls and 1 strike on Blake Dunn. That mounting, Andre mentioned, at Harwich, 2 2/3 innings, 4 strikeouts, just 1 hit allowed. Over the 2+. He inherits quite a jam right here. Bases loaded, 1 out. The righty out of Cal Poly sets. 2-1. Curveball on the inside corner. Strike 2. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes on Dunn, as Dollard has used that curveball effectively here in his first batter. Defense playing back for a double play. Outfield straight up. Cover as much ground as possible. Dollard sets. 2-2. Fastball, strike 3 called. Dollard freezes Blake Dunn with a fastball right at the knees after pounding him with curveballs. He comes back with the heater and catches the Falmouth right fielder looking for out number 2 here in the 8th inning.
That's a big-time pitch there from Taylor Dollard. You said it, TJ. It's breaking ball, and then came back with the fastball to freeze him. The breaking ball has been the out pitch for Dollard thus far, so this season, including those 4 strikeouts against Harwich, but opted to go with the fastball there, 3-2.
Here's the switch hitting shortstop Trey Cruz. Watches that curveball drop in for a strike. It's 0-1. Dollard, the Encino, California native. At Cal Poly this year at a 2.89 ERA. Out of the bullpen, had 4 saves. 0-1. Swing and a foul, straight back by Cruz. And Dollard quickly is a strike away from getting Whitey out of this mess here in the 8th inning. Dufault started the inning. He got the first out, a fly out to center field, and then a double, an infield single, and a walk. And 2 pitchers later, we're at this moment. Dollard ahead 0-2. Here's the pitch. Fastball way outside. Trying to get Cruz to chase. He doesn't. And the count will go to a ball and 2 strikes. Cruz today has yet to record a base hit. He's 0 for 3. He's reached on a walk back in the 4th inning. Batting from the left side, he pinwheels his bat a few times, waiting for Dollard to get the sign. The righty sets, and the 1-2 on the way. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Dollard fired up on the mound as he strikes out the 2 batters he faces here in the 8th inning and gets the Red Sox out of a bases-loaded jam and preserves the lead at 4-3. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th inning here from Yarmouth. It's 4-3 Red Sox over Commodores on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
The catcher.
3, 4, and 5 coming to the plate for Whitey in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Taylor Dollard nails in the top half of the 8th inning as he comes in, inherits a bases-loaded jam, and strikes out both Commodores batters he faces to preserve the Whitey lead at 4-3. The Red Sox will look to add some insurance here in the bottom of the 8th with the heart of the order due up. Austin Wells, the freshman out of University of Arizona, watches a pitch miss outside for ball 1 from Sean Mullen, who dealt in the bottom half of the 7th inning. 0-1, curveball on the outside corner. 1-0 pitch is called a strike and evens up the count at 1-1. Wells, the left-handed hitter from the righty Mullen, waits, and the pitch misses outside, 2-1.
Oh, I missed it.
Pac-12 on the mound, Pac-12 at the batter's box, and Pac-12 behind the plate. The West Coasters up here on Cape Cod, playing for the summer. 2-1, dribbled foul up the first base side. And the count evens at 2-2 for Wells. 2 for 3 day, a pair of stolen bases for him. He's also driven in a run and scored a run. Temperature dipping a little bit with the sun going down here in Yarmouth. 2-2. Curveball misses away. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes on Austin. Cape League Player of the Week in Week 1. Cape League Player of the Week in Week 2 is out there at second base at Hayden Cantrell. 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Wells not happy with himself as he chases a pitch out of the strike zone. And a third straight strikeout for Sean Mullen on the bump for Falmouth. It'll bring up Riley King, the cleanup hitter for Whitey.
Riley.
Looking for his first hit of the ball game. He reached on a hit by pitch and was thrown out stealing back in the 6th inning. Still a good crowd hanging around here at Red Wilson. Third week of the Cape League season underway as the 0-1 is fouled straight back, or pardon, first pitch fouled straight back. Makes the count 0-1.
Is it the same one?
Red Sox, whole Cape League out at Fenway yesterday for the Fenway workout. Everyone having a ton of fun. 0-1, curveball dropped in right down Main Street, and the count's 0-2. All 10 teams get to run the 60. Take any outie as the 0-2's cut on and miss for strike 3. King retired as Klotch throws down to first base to complete the strikeout on the drop third strike. The 4th strikeout in a row for Sean Mullen on the bump. And that'll bring up Andrew Eister, the left fielder. And as I mentioned, infield, outfield, running the 60 and batting practice. Our Eister, the South Carolina Gamecock, the sophomore, one of 2 Red Sox to hit one over the mound. But to hit a home run during batting practice, and the only one to hit one during batting practice. He steps in, tied for second in the Cape League in home runs. Watches the first pitch fastball on the inner edge for a strike. It's 0-1. Man, Mullen has been locked in out there on the bump for Falmouth. His only other outing of the season was against Whitey and got roughed up a little bit. He was in the 9-6 win on Sunday in the first of 2 games of that doubleheader as the 0-1 misses low for a ball, evens up the count, a ball and a strike. But through an inning and 2/3, served up 2 runs on 3 hits. To go along with 3 strikeouts, he's already passed that's total here today. Out of the windup, the 1-1. Curveball on the outside corner, and it's 1-2 on Eister. But a good adjustment there from Mullen. Working here in his second outing of the Cape League season. Peering over his glove, he gets the sign. Winds 1-2. Swinging a fly ball out to deep right center field. This is chasing the center fielder Tawa back near the fence. He's there, and he'll make the catch deep in the gap for out number 3. 6 up and 6 down for Sean Mullen, as he's been spectacular today out of the bullpen for the Commodores. We'll head to the 9th inning here from South Yarmouth. It's Red Sox 4 and the Commodores 3 on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Red Sox 3 outs away from securing win number 8 of the Cape League season here at Red Wilson Field. It'll be the middle third of the order for the Commodores. Tim Tawa, Zach DeLoach, and Steven Moretta set to come to the plate against Taylor Dollard, who shut the door on the Commodores' rally back in the 8th inning. Inherited a bases-loaded jam with Blake Dunn at the plate, and then proceeded to strike out Dunn and Trey Cruz to end the inning. First pitch to Tawa is swung on and lifted high and foul out of play down left field side. And the count's quickly 0-1. Well, Dollard's been working well ahead of hitters. He's been all over the ball, all in the strike zone. Count's 0-1. So the sun sets here. Normal sunset time around 8:15 here in Cape Cod. About 20 minutes away. Trying to squeeze this 9th inning in before then. 0-1. Fastball on the inside corner. It's 0-2 on Tim Tawa. Tawa, the Stanford Cardinal. It's just 1 for 11, 1 for 9, to start this season entering today, as the 0-2 is skipped in there. And the count's 1-2. Today is 1 for 3 with a hit by pitch. So he digs back in from the right side. Dollard looking for out number 1 here in the 9th inning. Right-hander sets, 1-2. Swing and a chop foul off the leg of Tawa. And the count stays at a ball and 2 strikes. Couple of West Coast boys here. Couple of California guys in Dollard and Tawa. Tawa, a native of Westland, Oregon, so a couple of college California guys, but West Coast altogether. 1 ball and 2 strikes here on Tawa. Dollard set to the belt, 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Dollard 3 strikeouts in a row as he sets down Tawa to start this top of the 9th inning. And there's 1 down for Zach DeLoach, who's 1 for 3 today with a pair of strikeouts of his own.
Left fielder from Texas A&M.
So DeLoach will step in. A walk, 2 swinging strikeouts, and a single for him. First pitch, curveball on the corner for a strike. 0-1 here on DeLoach. Dollard has had excellent command of his fastball and his curveball here tonight. Infield shifting him to Paul. Wyatt Young pulled over deep in the hole at second base. 0-1 inside, and a catches a piece of DeLoach. So the first curveball that we've seen go away from Dollard as it clips DeLoach right off, it looked like the elbow guard.
The third baseman from Cal State Sacramento.
And that'll put the tying run on.
Steven Moretto.
And Steven Moretto will come to the plate. He's still looking for his first hit today. So the defense shifts back to its normal spot. Yeager and Young playing up the middle for the double play. Sam Hall shaded just a touch over towards left center. Guarding the line at third is Tirana. Wold holding on DeLoach at first. First pitch. Swing and a miss. Dollard able to get Moretto to swing right through that one. And it's 0-1. Might have been an off-speed pitch right there from Dollard. 2 outs away from win number 8 for YD. A double play ball will do it, with the runner over on at first. 0-1 from Dollard. Swing and a miss again. There's the curveball from Taylor, and the count's 0-2. Hull in center will now shift back to his normal spot in just about straightaway center. All the outfielders playing deep, trying to prevent the extra base hit. Dollard, a couple toe taps, he set 0-2. Fastball up and outside for a ball. Wells a peek down to first base. DeLoach back in plenty of time. And the count's 1-2. All 10 teams in action here on this beautiful Friday. Dollard, a deep breath, the 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Another strikeout for Taylor Dollard, number 4, as he gets Steven Moretto with a nice curveball off the outside corner. There's 2 down for the Commodores here in the 9th inning, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Barron Radcliffe. With Dollard locked in, we'll take a look around the league. The bottom of the 7th in Bourne, Brewster up 1-0 over the hometown Braves. Hyannis trailing in Harwich 4-0 in the top of the 6th inning. Orleans and Catuit all knotted up at 3 at Eldridge Park. Runner goes from first. Throw down to second from his knees is Austin Wells. The throw is there and it's in time. Austin Wells from his knees throws out Zach DeLoach stealing on the base paths, and that will do it here from Red Wilson Field. The Red Sox win this one 4-3 over the Falmouth Commodores and improve to 8-4 on the Cape League season. That is the Red Sox 4th win in a row. Their 2nd win in a row over Falmouth as they look to top this Eastern Division standings that they entered, tied for 1st for today. We're going to step aside real quick here from Red Wilson. When we come back, we'll wrap it all up for you. The Red Sox beating the Commodores 4-3 here from Red Wilson. Back here at Red Wilson Field, the Red Sox top the Commodores 4-3 for win number 8 on the season and the 4th win in a row for YD. Here to wrap it up for you, TJ Mathewson alongside Andre Sims. And Andre, today we saw, this game was really slugging along. A lot of base on balls, some sloppiness on the mound for both sides today. And it was really that clutch hit in the 6th inning off the bat of Riley Tirana that was the real difference maker in this ballgame.
Yeah, honestly, given how sort of awkward and clunky that this game felt, it's honestly, it feels like one of those games that neither team really deserved to win with how many base runners and stuff are going on. Riley Tirada ultimately got the hit when it was necessary, and that's really what it came down to, was in the midst of all of this sloppiness, who was going to be able to take advantage? Neither team looked like they really wanted to or could take advantage of all the walks and the base runner. There were a ton of runners left on base for both teams. It was really just a matter of, at some point, one of the teams was going to step up and find that hit, find that gap, and it was Riley Tirada that did that with the bloop into shallow left field.
And there in the 8th inning, Andre, it looked like it was all going to unravel for YD. It was bases loaded, 1 out, the go-ahead run over on second base, and Scott Pickler his decision to bring in Taylor Dollard proved to be an excellent one with his scoreless inning and 2/3 and 4 strikeouts.
Yeah, he's proven to be, without a doubt, the best arm in this YD bullpen. He has done nothing but come in and perform. Brian and I talked about him a bunch on the post-game show after Harwich, in which he pitched excellently in that game as well. And it's just impressive. It's a curveball that none of these Cape League hitters have been able to touch thus far. He's locating it with ease wherever he wants it to. It plays up the fastball, which sits around 90. When you have a 75-mile-an-hour 12-6 hook like that, it makes a 90-mile-per-hour fastball look like 93, 95, and so he's been able to work both off of each other so very well. I've been very impressed with what he's done out of the pen so far.
So Dollard slams the door at the end. As I mentioned, inning and 2/3, 4 strikeouts. The win will go to Brandon Dufault. He threw an inning and a third, allowed 1 hit, and struck out 2. The loss will go to Aiden Maldonado. In his 2 innings, he allowed 2 hits, 1 run. It was earned, no walks, and 5 strikeouts out of the pen for Falmouth. The win improves Whitey to 8-4-1 on the season as they remain tied for first place in the Eastern Division, tied with the Chatham Anglers, who, as of right now, in the top of the 4th inning, are trailing Wareham 7-1 at Veterans Field. The loss drops Falmouth to 4-6-1 on the season, so they're sitting in at 4th place in the Western Division. 4 points, ahead of the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, who are trailing Harwich 4-0 at this moment at White House Field in Harwich in the bottom of the 6th inning. Red Sox will be right here, back here at Red Wilson Field tomorrow, 5 o'clock first pitch. For the first time this season, we're going to get a look at the Brewster Whitecaps. So for Andre Sims, I'm TJ Mathewson. One last time, saying so long and good night from Red Wilson Field. The Red Sox take down the Falmouth Commodores 4-3 here in South.